Hello guys, this is the other part of the video, just people asking to, some couple of people emailing me on my Instagram to see the other part of the video. So I just decided to put it here because I also wanted to mention something, and it's better I have it here than sending you to Sammy's channel, coming here and sending you to Sammy's channel for just that. Okay, if you look at this part of the video, you will see more comments than the other part of the video, even I think. But this part of the video have more comments. Although when you go to Sammy's channel and you watch the live comment sections, you will see worse than what she was putting up here. But some comment that she was putting up here, you will see how just ridiculous the comment section was going, attacking me in the name of why I said our culture, the child marriage is our culture. I'm not allowed to say that. It's what is used to put all this kind of laughing, bullying comments and ridiculous comments. And I just want to say thank you to some of you that appear in this live video and was supporting me, and some of you that was commenting with support, not just for me, but like I said, for other victims. There are a lot of people that are like the old Amy, watching what's happening to people who come out and talk. And if you think that you hate the people come out and talk and you're condemning them for what they're talking about, just know that you're damaging more people because you're telling more victims to sit down and shut up. So if you have 5 common sense, no matter how much you don't like someone, when they're talking about something that they're a victim of, even if you hate them, you shouldn't use that to bully them or belittling them or attacking them, especially in that moment when they're talking, or using it in general to insult them or to annoy them. Because the moment you do that, you're telling other victims to not come out and talk, even though you might not know that's what you're doing. Because I don't think any human being will know that's what they're doing and they go ahead and do it. So just wanted to say that for anyone that is watching this, me or not, to know that whenever someone is talking about something, especially something that they're a victim of, if you cannot want listen to it, go. You don't have to support them. You don't have to listen. You can deal with them the other time. If you don't like them, deal with them when they're talking about something else. But when you're dealing with them with this particular thing that they're talking about, bullying them, you're telling other victim to not talk, like I said, and then the circle just keep going. And you're not safe. Your children or your family children could be victim of something else. If they're not victim of child marriage because you come from a perfect family, you can be a victim of something that is worse than child marriage, God forbid. No one is safe. This world, human beings are cruel. Every single day we see victim of different things. Domestic violence, what's the English word? Like different things. So if you are telling women especially to not come out and talk because people will bully them and call them traumatized and call them whatever, then you're just telling people to not come out and talk. Because even if you talk nice and quietly, people will still use it to insult you. We all seen how people are using people, what they talk about, to insult them, which is why everyone is quiet. So just to remind us that doesn't matter me or not, like I said, this is beyond me. But yeah, guys, this is just the other part of the video. So yeah, watch out for some of the comments. But like I said, the other comments are on the live chat on Sammy's video. If you want to see that, you can go there. But yeah, just to post this other side of the video for you guys to see. This is not the other part where people were attacking me. I already have that video also. You can look at it if you've not seen it. But this is the part where I was also debating with some people talking and just other people talking in this video and other things that I've said that you've not seen in that video. So yeah, enjoy guys and see you again soon. Thank you for watching.
So it's still going on, especially in the provinces.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate you coming on board, and people are going to be asking questions. First of all, I just want to acknowledge the super chatters, Oriyomi and Jolie. Thank you so much. I saw it, and I'm not posting the comments on the screen because I don't want to distract Ami while she's talking, but I'm definitely going to be posting them. And if you guys have questions, I'm going to give her time to answer those questions because I see a couple of you guys have questions for her. So yeah. The next thing I want to ask is that being married at such a tender age. Of course, I know you don't even know what you're doing, and you don't even have an escape route out of that situation because you're so young. So you definitely need somebody to support you. So how do you feel at that age, do you remember anything like how you feel having to have a man have to sleep with you at I think you said 9 or 10?
Yeah. I'll answer that one. But just I want to recap on the when you said I forgot I have to look this side, guys. I'm so sorry because I'm used to the camera being the side, but the phone is charging. So when you say that you've not seen anything like that, like in your area or where you grew up, maybe you should like try to ask like your aunties, your mom, or your grandparent if you have any. They will tell you that you'll be surprised that even your own family, if not your aunties or your grandparents, been through it, then definitely it's gonna be a lot of child marriage in your family. There's no like Gambian family that don't have child marriage, underage marriage in their family. Like if your mom didn't go through it, some of her aunties, especially people that are poor, some of your aunties or her aunties or her, just ask your family. You'll be surprised because it goes for
Yes, I have
Mandinka,
never asked
Fula,
that question.
all the tribes in Gambia do it. It's so bad. But like you're saying, yeah, it's more in the villages. And because my mom from the village and moved to the city, that's why she come with those things, in the city. But yeah,
Okay.
so when I was married very young, I never really have any help with it or even have the gut to talk about it. I know a lot of you will be like, what? But some people that know me for years here, they know what I'm talking about. They never knew it until I started talking about it 4 years ago. But I guess it was just me create my own way of dealing with it, which is why maybe I'm so condemning. What's the English word? I'm like condemning everything. I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
Because I just from a young age, I know like things are wrong, but not even have the gut to talk, not to mention looking for help. Because it wasn't just me, it was me, my two older sister, my one younger sister. So it was four of us, but my one get really bad because I have my technique of not sleeping with this man. So our men most of the time when they marry you and you're not doing what they want, they just easily divorce you. You know this, right? So our Gambian community is they can easily marry you, but sadly they can easily divorce you. Like the man just have to say, I don't want this marriage anymore with a witness, or to just even phone your family and tell them, come on, get your daughter, I'm done with us.
Yeah.
They just need to hear from him that he doesn't want the marriage and the marriage is done. Like or he can write a letter and just send it to your parents and they come and collect you. Anyway, so that's why mine went really like when I was at my age number 16, I was at my marriage number 4. And my
When you were
sisters, my
16.
two older sisters, they were still in their marriages because they weren't using my technique. Like they're good girls, so they just listening. They
So
weren't like
at what
refusing
age
to
were
sleep with
you?
this man. Huh?
At what age were you? Because
So the first marriage, I was not even 9.
and you
See, my
have
mom
such a
said 9,
technique.
but I was 8. But he never touched me then. It's the second marriage when I was 12 who touched me. So the first marriage, who was this? Who was the older guy? Way too old compared to. He was older than all of my husbands, by the way. Maybe he's not older than the Scottish guy who brought me here after when I child married myself when I was 24.
That's not child marriage.
I child married myself again to get to Scotland. I was like, I'll find a bar and do it if you can go to Scotland. Anyway, that's another story, jokes aside. But so the first one, the guy, this fuller guy, his name is Dowda. I'll never forget it. Really old, wrinkled, and ugly. So I used to like. It was so bad, guys. I'm gonna try to take the comedy away because this is serious, okay? Even if you're not gonna like go to calls from Africa,
You
do
can
what
make
you
us
can.
laugh
Even if it's
too.
just talking, do something about child marriage. We have to come together and end it. It's not every girl that is like me. If you think this child marriage affect me, other people, you don't know what they're gonna do. Like I feel lucky. I could be a drug addict or whatever. Worse, you will not even see me on YouTube. I could be like a worse person because I know the kind of pain this put me through and how much I keep fighting the pain, you know. And it's very hard. I'm telling you. So jokes aside. Okay. So what happened is my mom said I was 9, but I just confirmed with her when I was last time we talked about this that I wasn't 9, I was 8. because she confirmed that I waited in the house for over 3 years before they hand me over to the guy. So how is then I was 11 when they hand me over to the guy, and how is then the guy married me when I was 9? So then the guy married me when I was 8, right? You all know that, over 3 years, and you were 11 when you go there, then you were 9. I'm sorry, 8. Anyway, it doesn't matter what age I was now, because I don't want to like argue with her about it and stuff. She doesn't really like me talk about it, but she knows it's not fair. Even though she's been through it herself, she knows that we
Yeah.
have to do something to stop this for other girls. So she doesn't like deny me from talking about it. But you know our mothers, they don't like it when we talk about anything that we're not happy with the culture with. You know this, yes, Sammy?
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, so I was 11 when they took me to this first old guy, but I was lucky. He couldn't do anything. They said his thingy doesn't work, like. So I was like, thank God. But
Good for him.
it's actually sad, but funny but sad. It's crazy. So then they take me there again, and he wasn't there. He ran away. He wasn't at home that night, and they were bringing me again. He ran away. And then they arranged for us to do it and for us to try again. And he never touched me again that night. He didn't touch me again still. And then they said, he confirmed when they talked to him, he confirmed and said that, yeah, his thing it's like something wrong with him, but he was going to do some herbal something. And then they should give him some time. And then my mom agreed, and my dad younger brother, who was also involved in this marriage, they agreed that they should end it. And other people confirmed that this man, his thing doesn't work. So this is the number 3 time he's like marrying young people, and just so he can say to people that he have a wife. But so people don't laugh at him that he's young. We call it young. You know this, yes, Sammy, growing up, you hear this word. Young, yes, Sammy, you know this.
What's that?
Young, when the man, his thing doesn't work,
No.
And they call it yum in Wolof language. You don't know yum? Oh, your Wolof sound.
I don't know it in the language. You always speak fana Wolof, so.
Yeah, you're right. Your Wolof sound not very strong, but yum. A lot of people will know what I'm talking about. Yum is when his man who doesn't work, like.
Okay.
So anyway, so then when that marriage finished, that's when this other guy married me. Like a year later, I was then 12. But even when I was 12, I don't look like 12. Like I'm like my mom and my grandma. Like I'm back even from a young age. So you couldn't see that this person is 12. Like a lot of teenagers are now. When they're 12, they look older, but doesn't mean that they're old. But Africa, they think you're old enough. So anyway, so yeah, the second time I got married was 12, and yeah. That's when this whole nightmare started. But I know, like I said in my videos, and I'm not ashamed to say it, that I always have to have technique, because we are human. If you're denied this, you're gonna develop something else to fight it. So I have to then know that I was denied my right, but I have to develop a clever way to not have these men just do what they want to me, like I'm a slave or what. So then I have to come up with creating some headache or creating some malaria, creating things, when nothing is wrong with me, drinking painkiller and going crazy. So but then he ended up telling me that I think nothing is wrong with you. You just, and I was seeing a lot that my period is on when my period is not on. He just said to me that you just don't want sleeping with me because it's been like this whole time, and I cannot marry a wife who is denying me. I feel like I'm lucky because they never really like rape me like.
Okay.
But it's always like a rape because you don't want to do it, but you're afraid to say no, or you look for so many excuses until now you know that if you continue to excuse, he might go and tell your parents that your child is denying me herself, and you know how our culture don't like that too. You know that, yeah?
Yeah, of course. You shouldn't do
our
that.
Our culture don't like you when the man say that you are denying
yeah, of
sex.
course.
You know this.
That's not only for children. It's to everybody. If a man complains, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was scared, especially this particular child married, this particular man. he used to tell me that I would tell your parents that you're refusing. So, and then if he said that when I look for excuse for so long, then he said that then I just had to let go. Yeah. So anyway, but I was lucky he divorced me. That marriage didn't last long. All of them didn't last long, which I'm lucky for in a way, because I don't want to stay with them. By now, I'll still be there. This happened to a lot of women, and they're still there, by the way. Like, they don't have the gut to come up with this plan I'm saying or nothing. They just, or they don't even think about it. So they just stay there and have children and I was lucky I wasn't pregnant. Even though these marriages didn't last long, I could have been pregnant for one of them at least, but I wasn't pregnant for none of them. Even the 16-year one, when I was with my cousin, I loved him then. I was with him for 2 years in Senegal, but I wasn't pregnant.
Yeah. So when I was watching some of the videos, a lot of people were saying it's a part of their culture, but so many people and their moms, because moms were also talking, were saying it's due to poverty, because if they had money to send a child to school, maybe the parents or the father would not want the child to get married until at least they finish their high school education. So do you think that poverty does play a role in yours too, just like the other girls? Yeah. Okay.
Of course. And lack of education. That's why I call from Africa. We try to put children to go to school. The lack of education costs a lot, not just child marriage, but even for the boys. It makes them grow up to be somebody else because they don't have the education. So then they feel like they just have to do whatever they can to make some career or what, like. So yeah, the lack of education is and which is the poverty is the lack of education. It's the number one rule for it. And then the culture, because this happened to all my grandparents and my mom.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. I can't believe, and I can't imagine going through what you went through. That's insane.
It
So
is, but what I can do, I just have to stay strong, because in our community, I just want to say this before I forget. For people that have been through stuff in my community, doesn't matter if you're married or not, don't worry, expecting the community to maybe support you or people who hurt you to support you. Our community is very good at, oh, you're not alone. Everyone had this, or I know somebody who's been through this. Why are you still talking about it? Or they'll just tell you like, oh my God, and then that's it. So don't go and be alcoholic or drug addict or doing things because you feel like you are alone, because this community and culture or whoever hurts you, but they're not apologizing or they're not even admitting this is wrong. Or even if they do, you don't feel like maybe the community understand your pain, or the people who hurt you, if it's a group of people like a cultural hurt. This doesn't have to be just child marriage. Even it goes to FGM or other things. So
yeah.
don't just try to just know yourself that if you're waiting for humans to understand you maybe or to show you love, you might wait for so long. And especially when you're so hot, it's hard to show you love. Because when you're hot, you might just be like, AmieJobe jumping off a barrage. You guys are just lucky me. I'm not like a proud person. I'll just tell you straight away that me, I find bridges, and this is why I find bridges. So until the bridge is finished, let's just jog on. But other people will not tell you that. You don't know why they're finding bridge, for example. You don't know why who they are, but they're just who they are. So they're gonna get on your nerve maybe, or like bully you and just going crazy. But don't feel like, oh, I want people to support me. Because if you want people to support you, you cannot be finding break too. If you're too hot that you're finding break, for example, and you're too vocal, because when you're too hot, you're vocal. That's why a lot of us are vocal, nothing else. Then people will be like more vocal and start calling you names and just stay away from you. And then if you don't know how to deal with it, this can be very dangerous. So I just want to say that. And then, yeah, we can continue.
Talking about education, FBA asked a question and he said, education on whose side? Is it your parents' side or yourself? Do you think if your parents were educated, maybe it would have been different? Is that you? Are you talking
Yes,
about
if
your
my
parents?
parents were educated, it doesn't have to be even school education. Obviously, if they went to school, I don't think they were gonna watch me not to go to school. They would know the benefit of it. So but also even if they were educated by this, like the way I'm talking now, that is why I talk about it
Yeah,
all the time, and I'm never gonna get bored talking about it. People don't get it because as much as I'm talking about it here abroad, 1 or 2% will hear it and then they will stop their family member in Africa who want to give away a younger child, okay? Or just even talk about it with their sister in Africa, and then that sister will save their child. Even if they didn't go to school, they're in the village, they don't have no school, the child has no school. They will tell them, because a lot of us, especially the Fana people and stuff, we have people in the villages that never been to school as I'm talking to you, and they're raising their children. Some of them, the children is going to school for most of them because we will like sponsor the children, when we are abroad here. It's hardly you're going to watch like your sister's children not go to school when you're abroad. Like a lot of them will pay. A lot of us will pay. So, but then you still have to tell them, for example, oh, don't let them marry young. Or when they call you, somebody want to marry my daughter. Because if the girl is beautiful, everybody want her. They will not want to wait till she's 16, till she's 18. Then they might tell you this person want to marry this person, and you say no, don't do it, because you will remember AmieJobe. You will remember I saw AmieJobe talking about this all the time. Then you will stop them. Some of them do stop them because of my videos, and they will like call me on Facebook and tell me. But it's just even if my mom was educated about it, like this kind of video that I'm doing, like see half a woman like me who was talking to her,
yeah.
then it was not gonna happen. So yeah.
Okay. So it's like lack of education between ourselves as a community, and not exactly going to school, but people talking about it and talking about like the consequence and what could happen to a child and what you're putting your child through. Okay. Yeah, that's true. I believe you. It's just a very tough situation. And talking about that, I want to come to victim shaming, because I watched one of your videos when you said somebody, and this is now like when you're an adult, when somebody had to go talk about your past again because probably you guys have some issues. And I think that is very, very, very mean and wicked. I'm sorry I have to say it like that. But we already know how victim shaming is in Africa, if like I didn't know about child marriage, that people will victim shame someone for that one too. But I know about
Yeah.
like rape situations whereby people cannot talk about, hey, this happened to me, I got raped, because then you're thinking about the aftermath of you coming out and talking about it and how people are gonna treat you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just crazy that people are also shaming children who got married at the age of 8, 9, 10 for getting married at that age, or sleeping with a man at that age, when they know that they have no control over that. A child is a child. Of course, a child cannot save themselves. If you can save them, they cannot save themselves. But I heard you talking about it on your channel where someone did that to you. I think it's a couple of months ago or 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think about that? And why? What would you tell to people that are fond of doing things like that to people, even if it's not child marriage?
I'm just gonna be very honest. You know me. It's not easy all the time when I'm raw honest with my videos. It's not like I don't have no emotions and I don't have no ego. I do, but I think because I've seen life from a young age.
I'm just gonna
I
cut you there. I'm gonna cut you there. I have said this a lot of times. I'm gonna be honest too. Like, I have talked to a couple of people about your situation since I started watching your channel, and then listening to more of your child marriage things. And I talk to people. I sometimes you say things that even I don't like. To be honest, I'll be like, oh my God, Ami. But then I'll be like, I can never be mad at Ami, because she has seen a lot of things and have gone through a lot, to the extent that she just have to say it. She's tired of keeping quiet. Okay. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is very painful and have big consequences. There's a lot of reasons why you have to stop child marriage. Because my child marriage did whatever it did to me, and then I am dealing with it however way I'm dealing with it. Somebody else there one day dealing with it whatever way they're dealing with it. But you must deal with it. Either you're gonna beat your children every day, or you're gonna be just crying at night every day, or you're just gonna feel hopeless and do stuff that you shouldn't do, especially when you come abroad here and you have a bad childhood. And then when they see you getting drunk and going crazy, they're like, "Oh, you're letting the culture down. You know, this is not my child. Why you become this?" They forget when they were growing the seed, the kind of water they give in the seed. They giving some chili and pepper and everything to this seed. Now this seed grow up. They want this seed to be just nice and like, no. You shouldn't find a barrage when you are bringing up this seed. Then give them normal water. Anyway, jokes aside, guys. These things why we are so condemning, why we are condemnation champion, us Black people, is because a lot of us are hot differently. I'm not ashamed to say that, even though I'm a condemn master or whatever you call me, but hopefully I will stop being a condemn master. I don't like it. It's big consequences. You have a lot of enemies, and I don't like enemies. It's not that it bothers me, but because I'm a people. Like, I'm so bubbly. I just like always have to chat and like talk to people, and like, so when I have enemies or people like judging me the wrong way, calling me hater or jealous or because of the way I condemn things, or just calling me mad and try to stay away from me and stuff, I don't enjoy it. And because you're vocal, you're gonna have people scared of you. They cannot, like, you're gonna be alone a lot. This is the word I'm looking for. Also, because you're vocal, you're always gonna be like in trouble, trying to correct the world, going crazy. Even though no one is perfect, you yourself, you did a lot in the past, and you're even gonna do something now. No one is perfect. I know this. But because you feel the pain, you don't want no one else to have pain, or you just, whatever you see, this is not, this is wrong too. That one is, that is wrong too. That is wrong too. Because you feel like what is done to you is wrong and no one do nothing about it. So then you feel like this community, they like to do wrong to people. And then you become part of the person that doing wrong, because you're going to condemn so much that people start seeing you as an enemy. It's a very hard life. So just try to help any girl you can come across to to not go through child marriage. Help them to have education too. Doesn't matter where you help them from. So the child marriage can reduce the education. If the girl is going to school, she cannot be married underage because she's at school. Just anyone watching this, if you have a radio station in Africa or any platform, people will hear you, even if it's under the mango tree, you're advising one woman. Talk to her. If you're advising one girl in Africa, especially when they're like 10, 11, 12, talk to them about how important it is for them to not marry anybody that they don't want, or anybody until they're at least the age of getting married, and how they should take their education seriously. Because the girls in Africa, they don't have enough knowledge for this. Some of them will choose to get married on the age themselves. When they're like 16, 17, they tell their parents, I want to marry this person. I love them. If you don't let me marry them, I'll kill myself. And the man will just marry them. And then that's most of the time it's a boy, like someone that is not old, so someone they love. After a few years, the boy gets sick of them, want to enjoy life. And then she doesn't like it. Maybe the boy is trying to enjoy life with other women or whatever. Then they fall out when she already have babies and suffering and drop out of school. I just feel like our community don't talk about these things. I know it's a Muslim community, but if you don't do marriage the right way, you're going to divorce anyway, or you're going to stay there miserable your children and your husband. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's crazy too. I mean, someone says sometimes girls are betrothed. at birth years back in by most of the tribes in Gambia. Well, I mean, what do you think about girls that are being betrothed? I don't think being betrothed has anything to do with child marriage, because some people are betrothed but never get married until 20. You get what I'm saying? But I think it's wrong in the first place because you don't know what the person is gonna love, who the person is going to fall in love with. So you betrothing them is like taking that right away from them. So,
What
but
is betrothed really? I don't really
like
understand.
giving a child to marriage, like when they're born or when they're very young. Like, some people, they will say, oh, this one is this person's husband. I feel like that happens more with families, like cousins, because there's
Yes,
a lot of cousin marriages that goes on as well. So I think
that's
that happens
exactly
more.
like what happened to me, because they give me to this man to marry me when I was before I was 10. They said they were waiting for my period, which means I'm old enough. So it's the same. It's just mine. Instead of keeping me, he just married me instead. But they didn't even do the marriage in the house. They do like what they call takigor, simple marriages, takigor, and they do it somewhere else at my dad younger brother's house. So I didn't know. They're just telling me that you have a husband. I'm like, what husband? And they're like, here, he's gonna come here, and that's it. He's gonna come and see us. And I start seeing this old man in the house coming to get it, and bring some depas money.
He said the fast money.
It's ridiculous. I used to hate him so much and just hate it when I hear him saying Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, at that time you already know who he is? Did they tell you?
No, I knew him after he already married me.
Oh, but like your spirit just didn't accept him.
No, he was so old and ugly, and I'm not even 10. Why would under 10-year-old be looking at any man, especially a 60-year-old wrinkled man, that people telling you this is your husband, and you're like, yeah, this is great, I love it. Who's gonna do that?
Yeah. So it's like some children are considered women the moment they see their period. So as soon as you see your period, they feel like they can give you away because now you are a woman.
Yeah, especially in my Fana culture.
Wow. Anyways, you guys can bring in your questions because I don't want to be the only person asking questions, so that you guys can ask while I may answer your question. And Bintu was here, so I'm gonna put this link back up. I don't know, I think she wants to say something to you. That's why she called in. So, but I'm gonna put the link down below so that Bintu, you can call in, or anybody that wants to call in. So hold on, I'm trying. Some people are talking about FGM.
This FAWQ guy, I don't want to talk to him at all. I block him from my channel. He can find a barrage.
He said you should unblock him.
Never. His entire generation is gonna be blocked. Anyone who knows him will be blocked. He was calling me my nose.
Do you think he was joking though? I think he was joking. He
Very
jokes a lot.
expensive joke. He
So,
knows how hurtful that joke is. He's calling me mayonnaise for marrying the old man to come here.
I think
if I wasn't here, my sister's children cannot be going to school surviving all these years. You're gonna pay for their school, you know them. Before you insult someone for doing something, marrying old person to get their ass to Europe, maybe you should find out why. You were gonna do worse if you were in my shoes. You were gonna be like those boys in the beach, effing sexing 80-year-old white woman. Anyway.
okay.
Sorry, Sam.
It's okay. I didn't know what he told you. I know
He
you
was
said
calling me
mayonnaise, but
because he saw some white person who joined my live video. Some random white guy just joined my live video, and he was calling me mayonnaise. His entire generation is the mayonnaise and super kanja.
From a perspective of somebody who went through it. You're speaking from a perspective of somebody who's watching it. So you don't fully understand. Even me, as I'm speaking right now, I don't fully understand, but I want to understand, because if I don't understand, how can I help? If I don't understand, I'll just be talking about it, won't I? I'll just be talking about it from a perspective of somebody who didn't experience it. So instead of me to be so quick to judge, especially in the African culture, the way that sometimes we just judge, why don't we listen? Why don't we listen to her? Why don't we ask her, Amie, and Amy's friends, and the people that Amy is taking care of, how can we help you? How? Why don't we do that? And that's why I want to say that I'm really happy. I'm really sorry. I mean, that happened. I know it's really hard to speak to some people, especially people who just they let their emotions stop them, and they let their emotions of what they think, what they're uncomfortable to talk about, they let that stop them from listening and opening their hearts. But I really want to thank you so much for everything that you've done. Even for you to be here today to speak, I'm telling you from experience, I've never had child marriage, but I've seen it happen before. The victim that happened through child marriage, that lady right now, she's on drugs. She can't operate. The pain was too much. She can't even have a conversation. So the fact that Amie can even sit down and speak to you in a full sentence, that is amazing. That is the glory. You are an amazing person, and I really thank you so much, even just for speaking. You don't know how much you're doing. I really respect you so much. I really do.
Amie, you're muted.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, African Millennial, for those words of
Thank you.
encouragement. Thank you. I guess I was not understanding it too when I was saying it's not my culture, but hearing her speak about how she meant it and giving examples of, not that if I say it's the culture, it doesn't mean it's your culture, or it doesn't mean I believe in it or my parents believe in it. So, but that does not make it right anyways. It is wrong. It is wrong. And if she says it's the culture, then I'm just going to be quiet because I have not seen it before and I have not asked questions about it before. So I'm learning from people like Amie and other people that are talking about it. Hi, or you're welcome to the panel and thanks for joining.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
We're good.
Hi.
Thank you.
Fine, thank you.
All right. Amie, first of all, I would like to say sorry for whatever anybody have done to you to make you feel that way. There are some things that comes sometime that doesn't we can't even purchase we can use our money to buy. But this is a live experience you are sharing. Like the other brother just said, and the African Millennium, they've said it all. So please put your heart together. Never even think about what those people said, trying to attack you or say something. So I know this is a very big trauma. If I was just watching you, looking at you, and the way you're talking, and when I hear your voice coming up gradually, I can tell because they don't know what it takes for you to even come on a live show like this said. So please, on the behalf, I'm so sorry about this. Okay, you're trying to give us knowledge. I mean, to educate us about what you face and what you pass through, so that others can learn from it. We should all put hands and listen and learn from you, not arguing. You see. You said a lot in the beginning. You introduced yourself and you said this, that. And later on in your conversation, I understand you have kids that you're training, and you even said it. You don't want to take them because you don't want them to even experience such thing at all. So now, what is the way forward after learning from you? What are the way forward? What are the things you're doing, which we're listening to? How can we support you? Not everybody can do it. You are in the position to maybe handle such a program. How can we support? Then we listen, we hear back from you, your shows, we see how it's going. So I think that's what I expect most people to, try to say, to contribute into. So if you don't mind, after the show or before it ends, your link, you can send it out there I'll be glad to be there. I have kids. I have 4 girls and 4 kids. One is boy, only one boy. To be honest, I'm from Nigeria. I live in the United States. I've been here for a while. I'm trying to relocate back to Nigeria. To Africa. So, but I know back home now is not really, really okay for me to do right there. So I've been watching like 6, 7 months ago now. Where can I relocate to in Africa? Africa is Africa in the whole continent. I don't see Nigeria as my home alone. Africa is my home in general. You see, I've been hearing about the the Smiling Coast. I've been watching it. Honestly, that's one of the places I want to relocate my kids. 3 girls,
Oh,
1 boy. So this program is a very good show for me. Like I was like, wow, this is interesting. Let me know about where I'm planning to relocate to. You see? So I will be stupid if I come here just asking you stupid questions or trying to turn your brain or make your mind back to what happened. Then I'm stupid. I don't want to learn. So please don't even let people disturb your heart. I'm really, really by January I'm heading there. That was why I mailed Sister Sammy, but she hasn't returned my mail. Maybe she didn't get it. I just want to ask about Gambia more. I've been talking to some people there. I'm going there for investment, full-time investment, all because of my girls, because they have to school there. The school back home is not okay now. They've been striking for like forever. Then I keep asking myself, how long are they going to take? These girls are getting out of school very soon. So I have to get them another university out of the country. Very close. Western world, not me with girls here, not now. When they grow, they're still 13, 12, and like that. So Western world is not where I really want to train my kids. I really want them in my continent. When they are grown up, yeah, they can go anywhere. They will remember all the training they got from me. They will remember the culture, like you have saying. They will remember the culture and some other training that they come through up to 15, 18, 20 years. Then I know they should still be able to handle things by themselves when they grow, you know? So that is why I was just like interested in the program. When you started saying all this, I was like, okay, you said something about the culture. Probably, I'm guessing, are you a Muslim?
yeah.
Okay, I'm a Muslim too. Like one of the sister on the show was chatting before a few minutes ago. Sister Kemi is her name. She was telling me about the northern part of Nigeria. I was born and brought up in the northern part of Nigeria, and I know truly they give younger girls to elderly people, like what you're saying. So I'm trying to match some of the African culture together. Like, oh, listen, let me listen to what Emmy is saying. So definitely, it's just like in Africa. Okay, not only in Africa, probably sometime again, it might be in some religion, maybe as in Muslim religion. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's beyond that. But you don't know until you learn something every day. You have to listen to other people and learn from them. Know what is going on. No, we keep learning every day. So don't let that disturb you so much. I'm very interested in supporting your program. Is it going to be on your own show or you have a link? Or how do we support your program?
I work with the organization called Calls from Africa. So you can donate to them. This is not about me having only donation for my pocket. No. This is just for you to know and save people as much as you can, even without our organization or not. But if you want to sponsor our organization, you can go, the link is going to be below this video, or you can Google it. It's just called Calls from Africa. Calls like calling from Africa. Callsfromafrica.org. And we don't just do child marriage. We also do children that, don't have school. They're poor. We try to put them to school. Right now, we have children that we are putting to school, and most of them are boys. And yeah, so we are raising fund. I'm gonna even do a comedy show to raise fund. I think it's tomorrow night on the 26th, 8 o'clock UK time. I'm gonna do a free comedy show on my page, AmieJobe, on my YouTube channel here, just for people to go to Calls from Africa and donate, even if it's $1, $2, whatever you have, just so we can send them to school. They're going to school on Monday, and we don't have complete money. It's 9 children that are waiting for us. And I also heard about other 5 that is also waiting, but we're going to deal with this 9 first. Because the lack of school also caused the child marriage and just caused it's a lifetime consequence if we're not going to school. We all know that. So.
Okay. Yeah, that is what that is the part of what we should know. What are the causes? Then what are the possible remedies? What are the solutions to it? So part of the causes is what part of the causes are what you just said. like probably inadequate education. I was reading something about poverty could be, if if it is part of the culture, like you said, then what are the things the new millennium, the youth are doing about this to make things better? If it is not something, if it's not a good experience, that means it has to be changed and modified, right? So definitely, if we need to change it, then what are the steps? These are what I think we should be talking about. It's not about blaming somebody or arguing about something that has
No,
happened.
me, what I do is when I go to Gambia, what I do is I talk to the women a lot. Like I talk to the women in the neighborhood and I talk to the women in the village. But now I have organized some people that when I go this time, I'm gonna train them to be doing that even when I'm not there, because I'm not there full time. But I'll be going more often now, hopefully, because of the organization. Hopefully, this pandemic thing will be more settled. But yeah, the main thing is to just make the mothers. I'm targeting the mothers. The mothers have to be aware of the consequence,
Mm-hmm. Right.
because they don't see the consequence like this. Their child coming 10, 20 years, 30 years later crying and telling them how they're battling this all these years. And people
Mm-hmm.
are actually even bullying them for this and just they're going crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
if the child cannot do that, like how I couldn't do that all these years until 4 years ago before I confessed to my mom. And she was surprised how this is paining me all these years, and that how this is not me alone, but she think that I'm somebody who cannot move on from pain. Like my culture, if you're from Africa, you know Africa culture is one. They think that
Right.
if you don't move on from pain, you're weak. I'm not weak at all. But how much you can take? When you're taking, especially in a community that people don't want to hear it, people condemn you for even talking about it, or challenging you, or bullying you with it, for how much you can take. We're just human. Like, it's not that I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm tired, I'm gonna just use cocaine now, or be alcoholic, or prostituting myself because I'm tired. I cannot do that. But still, and the least I can do is to use my voice. That's the only thing I have. Like this woman was telling me, I cannot do nothing. I don't have money. I don't have education. I cannot even write a correct letter to organization. I've never been to school, and I told them this. I only been to college few months of my life here. Even that was irregular. I cannot concentrate and do nothing. This is so effing painful. Because mine is worse, because it's so many. And each man is different. Each experience is different. So if they've never seen someone like me, or someone like have my story, instead of they challenging me, basic confirming that their family is perfect, their family don't have this. Everyone want to come from a perfect family who don't have this. Nobody want this. But it's not about you come from a perfect family who don't have this. Who don't have this? No one asks you what family you're from, if they have it or no. It's like someone saying FGM is a Gambia culture and Gambian culture, and you're saying, no, my family don't go to FGM. It's your culture. Who cares if your family go do FGM or not? It's a Gambian culture. Those people that doing it, they're Gambian. They're in your country. And when they're doing it, especially before, now they say it's illegal. It's still happening, especially in the villages. It's not happening as young as I was, but it's happening definitely 14, 15. Absolutely, every day. 13 even. If the girl have boobs, done. Especially when she's tall, done. 12, 13, they do it in the villages. Especially my own village, every time. So if this is happening in the Gambian community, doesn't matter that if your own family is not doing it, it's not happening. Or because your family stopped doing it from your grandma, now it's not your culture anymore. So why do you have to cook your grandma food then? The olden days food that your grandma cooked, for example, because it's her culture. Even though you don't know how to do it, it's your culture. It's your traditional food. I just don't get it when some Gambians are busy talking about this is not my part of the culture. Who cares whose part of the culture is what? It's harmful, it's harmful. This one, FGM, right. All of the harmful things, we have to condemn. It doesn't matter. It doesn't happen to my culture. Anyway,
right.
Sorry that I break down today. You know, I really wasn't.
Sorry about it.
I was ready to be smiling and answer questions and just do comedy so I don't cry. But when this one keep pushing me, I just couldn't take it anymore.
Sorry about that. Just take a deep breath. I mean, you're trying to pass out. I know it's a big trauma. Please, just take it easy, okay? You're trying to pass out information. So listen to what the other guy said, and African Millennium. They've all said it all. So I mean, I credit you a lot for even coming out in the camera saying this. Do you know, I mean, like you've said, do you know how many people are having this same trauma, passing it in underneath, using drug right now, taking a lot of stuff, all because they can't come out to say it? If they are on this show listening, do you know how relieved they would be thinking about it by themselves? You say? So sorry, Amy. Once again, please just take it easy. Keep doing what you're doing. Like you said, you want to be talking to the mothers, trying to educate them. I know most of our mothers, maybe, lack. I mean, sorry to use this word, like say some, let me say, illiteracy. They still don't know many things, But when we start telling them, start educating them, they start listening. They might start reasoning along. You see, so keep doing what you're doing. If I get to the land of Gambia, I would like to have the contact of those. I mean, if there's a personal inland on ground there that are handling it for you, like you said, or you're going to organize, I would be more than happy to honestly participate. Like I said, I'm going there with three, like teenagers, like 13, one of my daughter, my adopted daughter, and my sister's daughter, then only one boy. So this is very important to me. Honestly, I really want to know how the cultures go there, because of them, I'll be on ground there most of the time, like almost relocating, transferring my businesses back there. I've been talking with many business organizers there. We've been talking a lot. We've been doing a lot, though that one is not on this show, but trying to know how the culture goes there, trying to know how things goes there is very important to me. This is where I want to live. This is where I want to stay. This is where I want to be living. So I really want to know how things goes there. My kids are going to be mixing up with other kids later as time. They're going to have friends in university, tertiary institution. So I want to know what kind of culture. I mean, what is going on in that culture before they start moving with them. So that I can be relieved. In that way, if
I
there's
will do
anything
a video for you on my YouTube channel to advise you. So just go on my YouTube channel, AmieJobe, and
okay.
I don't know if you follow it, and comment in one video, or my email address might be there in my description, in my YouTube bio, and then you can contact me to remind me. I will do a video for you after the holiday just to advise you on what to watch out for, what can happen to them, what you can watch out for. Definitely, it's not going to be child marriage. Don't worry, because you're not going to allow that. So a lot of Gambian people are not going through it now because they're not going to allow it. They know it's wrong. Like me, when I go back to Gambia now, that's not going to happen to my daughter. Even my sister's daughter, it's not happening to them because of me. Even my two younger sisters, I saved them because of me. But all of these people that saying that because it doesn't happen to their family, their culture, or their family, or their mother, then it's not Gambian culture. I'm challenging them to ask, to find out if they have cousins and family in the villages. Let them go and find out if those ones are not child marrying their children, especially the poor ones. Because any family in Gambia, every family that is the original Gambian, you have aunties, uncles, people in the villages. There's no way all your family will be in Banjul or Bakau. So try to find out from your aunties, your uncles, your other relative that is a bit far. You will find out the amount of underage marriages that is going there. You'll be shocked. You will know if this is a Gambian culture or not. But anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, brother, thank you so much. But yeah, I'll make that video for you on what to watch out. There's other things that you have to watch out. But the main thing is Gambia is better than here, to be honest. Even me, I'm thinking going back. Sometimes I'm scared because of what happened to me and my daughter. But sometimes I just feel like I should go because I would not let that happen to her now. Because I know that even when I'm dead, she's not going to allow this. She's already born here. She's already 13. She knows. But it's also because she's at high school. And in the next 2 years, she's going to be year 5. And she has to do the NET 5 exam, the really highest exam. She's set up to do that. So I feel like I don't want to interrupt that. So the education of the children is kind of making me stop because I grew up, I've never had education. So the fact that they have education to study here in Scotland, I don't want to take them away from them and bring them back to where I was suffering my whole life. It's very scary. That's the reality. And because I come from such a poor family as well, where am I even going to have the money to pay for them to go to the best school? I'm not someone who is just can do this for money or do that for money. I don't know how to make money. Even my YouTube channel, I don't know how to take it serious. I don't care about money. All I care about for people to hear my message, to stop hurting people. That's why I'm always like, I know this gives me a lot of haters, but you don't have to come here targeting me. This is beyond me. This is about the young girls that we are saving, like the one sitting in my house in Gambia with her pregnancy. And the 2-year-old get married when she's 14, 3 years ago. And the man used to beat her. When you look at her back, it's all with big marks. Her body all over her with this belt that this man used to beat her. And this man is older than her dad, who her mom forced her to go. Even her dad didn't want her to go. Her mom said, you must go.
Oh
that
my
girl
God.
is in my house. I have the video on here.
Oh
She's
my God.
talking. I don't want to show her face, but the video is still on my YouTube channel. So why these people, you know, this woman condemning me, busy about this is not Gambian culture. Who cares? This is Gambian. Okay, it's Chinese culture now. I'm from China. That girl is from China. Your grandmother that you say that was married young is from China. We're all from China then.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm gonna look after your show. I mean, I'm gonna join your program so that I can be there. Then I can email you for more questions. Thank you so much.
So
And
definitely, I'll help you with anything you need. You know, I love children and stuff. So
I
love
will
girls.
really
I
be.
always advise teenagers. So you contact me and I'll advise you on anything you need. So
Expect my email. I would look for your email there and I'll send a message. And for Sammy, thanks for having me here today. And tell Eggy anytime, damn.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate you. Make sure you send me another email though, okay?
I will surely do tonight. I will surely do. All right. You take care.
Thank
Take care.
you, brother.
Thank you for calling. Okay. I just want to say something. A lot of people have been saying that you know, we have to talk to the moms, you know, the mothers, the grandmothers. I personally think we have to talk to the dads. The thing that in Africa, husbands have a very, like, they have the higher voice. You get what I'm saying? So anything they say, most of the time, the women cannot go against it. Can you guys hear me? I think I'm frozen. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So most of the things that will happen in Africa, most times men, you know, have like power over a lot of things. So if husbands, dads can understand what these women are going through, what people like Ami have went through, you know, I think we will be able to make like positive change quicker than just the women. Because sometimes women can talk and talk, because it's not like um these mothers are forcing the children to early marriage. It's not like they're happy with it, but because they want to respect their husbands. They don't want to go against their husbands, okay? And how society will look at them if that happens, like you're being disrespectful. And knowing the African woman, a lot of people, we just talk about what matters is respecting your husband. So if husband wants this child to get married, even if the woman doesn't want it, most likely it's going to happen, or the woman would leave the house. And if the husband does not want his child to get married, there's nothing the wife can do about it. Nothing. What you're going to do? Divorce. So in my opinion, I believe we should talk to the dads, the fathers, the husbands, the uncles, the brothers, more. Concentrate on the men, because the men are the ones that control a lot of things that go on in our societies. That's just my opinion. Not that we shouldn't talk to the women and educate our mothers and grandmothers and aunties. We should, but my focus will be on the men, because the men are the ones that are marrying these children. The men are the ones that are giving away their children. The women have a role to play, but most times it's because they want to respect the man of the house. So that's just my opinion about it. I don't know what you think about it, Ami.
You are right. I know what you mean, Sammy. We should talk to the men. But why I want to focus with the women more is that if you remember in the beginning of the interview, I said to you that the men all over the world, it's not just Africa, but even in the country, in the Asian countries that do child marriage, when the men stand up and fight child marriage and say that no more child marriage is not manly, it's weakness, it's pedophilia, I don't care what religion you are, if you have religion or not, we have to man up and move out of this. It's too harmful. Full stop. They just like even shaming each other for when anyone do it. They shame you like the way the women are shaming us for having this, and the other men shaming us for this happening to us. They should shame the man that is doing it, just condemned it, refuse their children from going through it, refuse their cousin children, their sisters' children from going through it, just condemned it. If they do that, it's going to stop. I know this. But if you remember in the beginning of the topic, I told you that us, the women, have to stand up and fight hard for the men to be able to do that. Because the men, they enjoy it. They petrify themselves, a lot of them. So that's why they cannot stand up and condemn it. Also, they're not the one that going through the pain. They don't experience the pain. So how are they going to condemn something that they don't even know? So if I go to the man now, it's like you going to the men and trying to talk to them FGM. You know people that was campaigning FGM, because I'm ready to campaign child marriage like ever in Gambia, like inshallah, you see. But I know that we've seen people campaigning FGM. You remember how men used to attack them, and it's not even their business. They are men, but they just enjoy women suffering or what? It's something to do with African men, not all. Before some of them jump her break, some of them love to see women suffering. That's the reality. I'm gonna have haters again. You know me, my mouth is why I have a lot of haters. I'm too done with my culture that I don't know how to say anything to please anyone. Sorry, guys. But anyway, if I talk to the women, why I want to talk to the women is, number one, we are the one that experience it. Because a lot of the women that allow this to happen, it already happened to them. That's why they don't see it as wrong. They see it like, if I can manage it, my daughter can manage it. You know what I mean? Like that African saying. So also, a lot of the women end up with their children. Because you know this, our culture is full of, when the woman divorced, the man just leave her with the children and marry somebody else and forget her. You see what I mean? So then the man don't even care if the woman is going to child marry the children. He doesn't care. Especially in Gambia. How many women are going to divorce and the man coming to visit the children, giving you money every month, trying to advise you with the children and help? It's not common yet. So the woman is alone. So if the woman is tired, don't have money, she might give the children away or just give the children away. That's why I want to target the mothers. Also because we are the one that going through the pain. Like I said, we know how painful it is. So and women, because we are loving and caring, we like to protect. When we have the knowledge of the damage of what we are doing, we will protect the children more. You know what I mean? Like, so I will talk to the men, but it's for example, if it's 10 men, 10 women, you talk to both, maybe 1 or 2 men will change if you're lucky, and you have maybe like 8 women will change because they are women and they know the pain. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know how our men, when you try to condemn our culture, they don't like it. You know our men, lot of them, especially the ones back home. The ones here, they're working. Sometimes they're like, yeah, this is wrong. We have to stop this. But the ones back home under the mango tree, Sammy, come on. You talk to them about FGM. You talk to them about child marriage. They're going to laugh at you and call you a white woman and call you everything. You know it. So
yeah, but there are some that are in Gambia that are very woke too. So I think those people will play a big role to trying to convince other men, you know, and then women that are getting married as well, like the children and the mother, should be able to talk to their men. That's what I'm saying. But the men that are woke can also play a big role, because I feel like the men will listen to fellow men like them. Fellow men, not men.
Yeah, I can try.
Fellow men like them.
But honestly, I'm telling you this. I have less chance of the man listening to be with child marriage. I know men with child marriage. I try to talk to them before, especially the men in Africa. The men that their children are going through child marriage is the ones like in my mom villages and the surrounding villages and other villages like Basse and, you know, all these other villages. It happens there more. Those men will not listen to you talking about child marriage or FGM. The women, they will listen more. Even a lot of them will condemn it first. But they will listen more and be like, you are right, you know, and then you explain, you might even get emotional and cry. Because it's not easy for me to talk about this without crying. It's very samey, but sometimes I can't help it. So they need to know the pain, see the pain, understand the pain in order for them to help the child. This is beyond just poverty. No matter how poor you are, if you know how damaging this is, you won't do it. Even if you're sleeping on the street with your children. You know this, yes, Sammy, you're a woman. You know how women can be protected for their children. But because they don't know it, they don't see someone like me talking like this. So they just do it because they think it's because they can cope with the pain. The child should cope with the pain.
Absolutely. And just to remind you guys again, if you're watching, I have put the link for Amie's organization to help support her. And it's Cause from Africa. The link is down in the chat, and the link is also in my description box. So make sure you guys support. And if you are going to super chat it, I would prefer you guys support directly on the organization, because I'm going to, any super chat that is done on this channel today, I will be sending it to the organization or Amie. So, but the thing is that when you super chat, YouTube takes 30% of the money. And for them to get that whole money, then you will have to do it through the organization. I think they can get more, like all of the money that you super chatted, and I know you're going to want them to get everything. So if you super sticker or super chat me, just know that they're not gonna get the whole money. But I will definitely send it to the organization. Every super chat done here will be given to them. But I will appreciate if you guys can do it through the organization donation link down below in the description and on the chat. Thank you. Hi, Prince Ayoko. Ejeng, I'm sorry. Ejeng, you are not calling the right way. I see you, but I cannot add you on the stream. I want you to call with your camera and your mic on, then go ahead and turn off your camera. Okay, thank you. Prince Ayoko, you're welcome.
My sister, thank you. Good evening to you, my Gambian sisters and my brothers and sisters on this chat.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, my sister. The topic is child marriage. Is it because of poverty or what?
Yeah, child marriage and poverty being a contributing factor.
Oh,
are you not Muslim?
I'm a Muslim.
So why are you asking as if you're from the sky, you don't know nothing about this Muslim practice it most of the time because it's in the Quran that what happened to our prophet, what he did.
I'm a Muslim. At the same time, I follow my tradition. You understand? Child marriage is not something that has to do a lot with Islam. It doesn't have to do a lot with Islam. Mostly, there's one African tribe that I know that practices this so much than any other tribe that I know in Africa, and that is the Fulanis. You understand?
Are they not Muslim?
They are Muslims, but
they have say something there. Why did you say the child marriage is nothing to? It's not in the Muslim. Did you say it's not in the Muslim culture?
Let me take my time to explain this for you to understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
You see, in the African culture, in the typical African tradition, every society or every tribe has got the way they live. They have got their practices and everything. So all these problems that we're dealing with in this 20th century, most of them has to do with what our previous ancestors left behind, that some traditions still practice. And that is why I started by mentioning the Fulani, because that is what I've seen with my naked eyes. We have Fulani men here and women here, Fulani families around here. Our next door neighbors are Fulanis. They can marry a child like 12 years, like 13 years. And it's at first, I find it so hard to understand. But at some point, as I live with them for some time, I got to understand that that is their tradition. And this is the reason why they do it. You know, nowadays, there's a lot of civilization, there's a lot of technology that makes our young girls to even reach a stage. I mean, before they reach some certain stage, they will already have boyfriend. the young guys, before they reach even the age of 18, they already have girlfriends. Likewise, girls, before they reach the age of 18, they already have boyfriends. So one day I asked this Fulani man, why do you marry these girls very young? And he told me that, well, our tradition teaches us about adultery. And adultery has also to be done, like has so many kind of types. And he said, when a girl is not up to 18, she's not supposed to get closer to a man. She's not supposed to have any relationship with a man. When a boy is not up to 18, he is not supposed to get closer to a woman or to have a girlfriend. So that is why our tradition has made it like, well, in order to prevent this from happening, when the girl is young, you know, her parents will give her to the right man that they think can take care of her without having any kind of, you know, man and woman relationship with her. The man will raise the girl up till she becomes the age where they can start to have children. That is their culture. And in other cultures, some do it because of poverty. And it is not part of the culture in other societies. In other societies, some do it because of poverty. So this has to be done in there's a problem about this in two different ways. There's a problem about it with regards to culture, and there's a problem about it with regards to poverty. But then anything that has happened in the past and is still repeating itself, it is what it is. It is just what it is. I don't support the idea of, you know, child marriage. I don't support that idea because at this point in time, everything has to be done with technology. Most of the things that is happening in the world has to be done with education. It has to do with education. So imagine when a girl is married, you know, at the very young age, she would already lose her future because of the marriage.
Can I say something? Can I diverse the topic to some other part? You know, this Muslim part, which is more important, I think. Hence, we are all Muslim. Let's just be real here, brother. The Muslim part. It seems like you were saying that the child marriage is not from the Muslim part.
I mean, in the Islamic way, the way we live here in accordance to Islam, before a child gets married or before a woman gets married, she has to be of age. She has to be up to the age whereby everyone knows that, yeah, this woman.
What age did the Quran recommend for people to get married?
What age
did the Quran recommend for people to get married?
Well, to be frankly with you, I am not an Islamic scholar, and I am not someone who has so much knowledge in the Quran. But then there are some features in woman. There are some features in woman that when it starts to appear in a woman, that is the age that she's up to marriage. That's the age that she can reach to get to marry. So sometimes it isn't about the age, but as a person grows, there are some features in the body that shows that this person is growing. Even when the person is young,
we all know as a Muslim that the child marriage, you know, we Muslim people that get married young, we are practicing it from the religion. We all know that because our Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam take a young wife, take Aisha at a very young age.
Come again?
We all know that us, the Muslims, the Muslim community, They are part of practicing the child marriage is from the Quran, because the Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam take a young child, take a Aisha when she was just a baby. Like what happened to me.
Well, maybe that's something that you're sharing. But what I'm saying is that
you don't know
child
about that.
marriage,
You don't know about that. You don't know about that.
before I start this conversation, what did I told you?
You know me, I'm too direct. I don't like going around the bush. Let's just
No, it's not
this.
going.
This is very
It's not
important.
going
Hence, we
around
are
the
all
bush.
Muslim.
It's not going around the bush. This is not about going around the bush. The whole thing is that that's why I told you that in child marriage, there's one particular tribe that I know that practices it. Quite apart
Don't
from
worry
that.
about that tribe. Let's just talk about our
No,
Muslim part. One Muslim
look,
all over the
when
world.
I'm
We
going to
follow
talk
one
about
prophet.
something,
We follow one Allah.
listen, when I'm going to talk about something, I first of all look at the topic. The topic is it culture or poverty, right?
No. The topic is just child marriage discussion.
Come again?
It's child marriage, but then poverty is also a contributing factors, and then there are other things that contribute to child marriage as well, if you know what I mean.
Especially in the Muslim community, the religion is the number one reason, and then poverty and whatever culture and whatever.
Like, for example, the reason why Amie has joined a foundation to help support these children who are not only to stop child marriage, but just help support the children that are from extreme poverty homes, is to get finances to be able to help some of these kids. Like, for example, the godchild. If you're able to help a child who is from a family who can easily give her away to marriage if they cannot provide for her financially, if they have somebody outside who can support for that child, maybe it will prevent them from giving that child away into early marriage, you know?
But yeah. Then if there is any kind of organization that has come out to help these young girls from getting early child marriage, I think the best people they can help all over Africa is the Fulanis, because they practice that the most that I know. I have been with
they are
them.
very religious. They are very religious in the Muslim community. The Fulanis tribe and like the Sarahule tribe, they are more religious than any other religious people, I think, in the Muslim community. And they do child marriage more, because child marriage, they get their part of child marriage from the Quran.
But how would you
and that's
be
what
able
you are avoiding.
how would you be able to finalize it like that, maybe without knowing more about their tradition? Because they have also got their traditions more than, I mean, quite apart from the religion side, they have also got their traditional beliefs. You understand? I know, listen, I know some Fulani men here who are very rich. I know some Fulani men here who are very rich, and they give out their children at the early stages for marriage.
Yes,
so
because it's in the Quran. That's how they give out Aisha to Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam when she was a baby.
But listen, that's why I told you that in this conversation, I told you, I ever asked one Fulani man, or do you want this topic to be repeated? The next time that when it's going to be repeated, then I'll invite a Fulani man here for him to explain for you to clearly understand.
Yeah.
They have had the reason why they do it. And in accordance with the way the man has explained to me, he wasn't explaining it to me in the form of, religion. He didn't mention religion when he was explaining it to me.
Yes.
You understand?
They don't have to mention religion. Because a lot of the men, especially the Muslim men, they try to avoid, they seem to confess the truth. They try to avoid the fact that they're copying this. This is the number two things they love from the whole Quran is child marriage and marrying multiple wives. Those are the only things that the Muslim men love most in the Quran. Child marriage, marrying multiple wives. The third one is that your wife has to listen to you, open her legs whenever you need her. This is the only three that the Muslim men will never stop practicing.
Excuse me, my sister, listen. My sister, listen. Listen to what I'm telling you. In this our kingdom, we have ever had a king that has married 100 wives. There wasn't Islam in our kingdom at the time. So if I tell you that I'll get you wrong on saying that based on Islam, would you believe it or you not believe it?
I
Would
believe
you agree?
that you are right. You are
Agree with
right.
me
But
on that?
what is in the
So
Quran too, you cannot change that.
There are some things. It is the cultures and the traditions that has mixed up with religion that is causing all this. And in everything that I tell you, it isn't that I'm supporting it, but I want you to know that we are Africans, and there are people watching us who are also Africans but don't know anything about the African traditions and culture, with regards to combining it with religion or separating it with religion. There are some practices, it was already been happening before Islam came to Africa. So if something was already happening before Islam came to Africa, is it the religion that has brought it, or it was originated by the ancestors? Now, this is a question that
I know what you're talking about, but this particular one is also in the religion, and you cannot change it.
Yeah, I'm not denying.
Why are you blaming on the culture when it's in the religion also?
I'm not blaming culture. I'm not blaming culture, but just imagine you are like, you have a bloodline, you have your ancestors. Your ancestors brought a certain tradition way back before even your grandparents were born. And these African cultures passes from generation onto generation to generation onto generation. This is something that has been practiced from the beginning of time.
Can I just say something, please? A lot of the African cultures that are Muslim, I don't know the other ones. A lot of African countries that are Muslim, whatever culture they have before the religion, it's finished. Try to find anything. Nothing left. They're only practicing the Muslim part of the culture now, which is you have to listen to your husband, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to marry 2 wives if you can marry a child. All of this is in the Quran, because the Quran, when the Quran came in, they have to get rid of their own culture and start practicing the Quran. So you cannot try to say that this is culture thing when it's in the middle of the Quran, where you guys are getting it from.
Listen, please let me tell you something.
Those
I'm not agreeing with what you are saying, and I'm not agreeing with what you are saying. You are sharing your opinion, and I am also sharing. Listen. If I also tell you
a Muslim, it's in your Quran. You're looking at it.
No. Let me tell you.
Happily marry second wife because it's in your Quran.
Just let him speak. Let him speak.
Let me. I want us to. It isn't all about the talking. It's about what we achieve and what we benefit.
But I'm not going to allow anyone to twist the talking.
Matters.
It's not
you understand?
But it's the reality.
When we are going to blame, when we are going to use religion as a weapon to blame the problems in our communities, we will never find a solution.
We will.
There is
when we confess the truth, when we agree to the disagree, and part of the religion that doesn't favor us, then we will get a solution. But if we keep backing the truth, this one tell the truth, the other one say, no, that's not the truth. It's from olden days before the religion. No, it's not the truth. Then we will never get anywhere.
That is what I'm saying. I'm telling you that let me ask you let me ask you one question. When you answer the question, that will be like the last stop of my conversation for tonight.
No, I don't want you to go ahead. This is very interesting. Okay, ask me.
The religions that we're all talking about.
Huh?
The religion parts that we're talking about. There are 2 religions that is the majority in the world. That is like the majority of the religions in the world is 2. That is Islam and Christianity, right? But I'm going to ask you that, do you know that Africans were already having their own way of living before all these 2 religions came to Africa? Is it true or false?
True.
So if something is true,
something about that just a minute ago.
If something is true, and you know it's true, and now there's a problem, that was already happening. And not all the problems. There's some problems that we have right now that was already happening in the days of our ancestors. And there is some problems that is happening because of religion. So when we are going to forget about what the traditional parties or the cultural parties, and based on everything on religion, like blame everything on religion, then we get it wrong. We have to look. It's like when you are getting lost and someone say, hey, you are getting lost, and I said, and you said, no, I'm not getting lost. That's how we come into. We
Yeah,
have
that's what you are doing. You are the one that is doing that.
understand.
Okay, brother, wait, please, just 2 seconds. You are just we're gonna be going back and forward here. Like that's woman that you know that was earlier before me, the woman that triggers me. Because you are busy talking about how people were doing before the religion. When you know that this is in your religion. So it doesn't matter what people were doing before. This that happened to me now is in the religion. So the only thing we can do is to tell people that, okay, this is in the religion, but it's very harmful. Let's not practice it, please. Period. It's not need to talk about it was before, it was yesterday, it was 2 days ago. It's here now in the religion that you and I believe in, which is why these men are happy doing it now, thinking it's not wrong.
Sister, you see, there's
I cannot get anywhere talking to my community with this.
You see, knowledge is very bigger than one person to handle. Knowledge is very big, and ideas is very big for one person to handle. So what I am saying is that there is a lot of the causes of these problems. To some of them, it's not a problem. It was practiced in the olden days because of a reason. And there's a lot of it that is being caused just because maybe...
Brother, please. I respect Sammy so much. This is why I'm still here, even though I was crying earlier on. I still didn't leave because I respect Sammy. This is her platform. It's not mine. So I cannot just, no matter how painful it is, I have to continue the interview. Please, brother. Please, I'm begging you in the name of Allah. Listen to this now, please. This is serious. This is beyond me. I could die today. I could die tomorrow. I don't own my life. Do you know how much time I want to end my life? It's not late. You might still wake up one day and never find AmieJobe. This is beyond whatever you think of. Brother, it's like what I was telling to this woman that left. Doesn't matter if this happened to her culture or not. It's just about, it's happening in Gambia. It's part of Gambia culture. That's why it's happening in Gambia. It's not China culture. It'll be happening in China. So it's just for us to focus stopping it. Doesn't matter if it happened to you or not. You, brother, why are you talking to me like a 5-year-old? And I know you're so clever. I'm not asking you to condemn the religion for child marriage. It's not easy to condemn the Muslim religion, especially when you're a man. The Muslim religion favors you guys 110%. That's why you guys will never condemn it. I know this. But why are you talking about what people were doing before the religion? When we have the religion now that we are following now that is doing it. Never mind if they're doing it before. But say this is now here, but it's not favoring now our children. Finish.
So this is what I'm... Let me just tell you this and go. This is why I'm telling you. You see, you are living in the Gambia. As you are living in the Gambia, we will call you a Gambian. But in Gambia, you have your particular tribe that you belong to. You have different cultures there. The culture that you have over there, don't expect anyone to have it. Just like here in Ghana, the cultural practices that we have in Dagbon, Tamale, I don't expect my fellow Ghanaians who are Ashanti.
This is what I was talking with the woman who left earlier on. I know that whatever is happening is not for everyone, but we just talk about for the ones that is happening for. We talk for those ones.
Okay, thank you. Prince Ayoko, I just muted you so that I can let somebody else speak. And first of all, I want to appreciate Amie.
Don't just move him when he's talking. I don't want him to think that, you know, we don't want him to talk and stuff.
Okay, I want to say thank you, Amie, and thank you for your patience, because I know this is a very hard topic for you. I cannot imagine what you're going through because I've not gone through it. So I can only say enough. Thank you for staying on the panel. It's been really tough. And Spearman, thank you for joining, and go ahead.
Greetings. Binta, thank you very much. Ami, I can see you. You're a little
Hi.
bit sad, but anyway, hello, brother. How you
Connection is really
doing?
bad. Sorry,
Um,
we can't hear
yeah.
you.
Anyway, I was like trying to, and it was gone again. My connection is bad. Can you
Yeah,
hear
your
It's
me?
better.
connection is very bad.
Oh, all right. Let me come back later. Let me come.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, brother Nakmizi. How you doing? Rakshakur, how you guys doing? Welcome
Peace.
to.
How was everyone?
Thank you. We're fine.
All right. So I was listening to what was going on, and um shout out to the sister AmieJobe. But what I think the brother was saying, the prince actually, is that there was child marriage before Islam. So that is the cultural issue. I don't think you disagreed with that. I think Amy's point was that, but since the Quran and Islam, that it's there, and people are using that as, as justification almost to continue with child marriage. So what we
Exactly.
have to understand is that Africans, many Africans, I don't know how it is in the Gambia, but have combined their own African culture with Islam. So it's not the same as they practice Islam in Saudi Arabia. It's Africanized Islam. Still Islam, but they didn't totally leave their own spirituality or their own customs to the side. So, and I'm saying this as a former Muslim. I don't want to, trigger anyone with that. Just respect my new journey, right? I was a Muslim up until 40 years old. My daughter's name is Aisha. Okay, so I understand the power that that name carried when I was a Muslim. Someone tried to call my daughter a nickname, and I said, no, no, no. You're gonna say the whole name, Aisha, right? My name was Akbar, and I changed it to Jamel because why? Me as a man couldn't be Akbar because it was only Allahu Akbar. It wasn't me Akbar. You understand what I'm saying? But my mom named me Akbar as a misled Black American Muslim because she wanted her son to be great. Once I started studying, the Quran, when I started studying, um, just the history of Islam, I said, "Whoa, that's not. I'm not a lot. I'm not Akbar." You understand what I'm saying? But I think the thing is, when we look at the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and I'm no longer a Muslim, but I'm being respectful. Um, if you're a Muslim man, the Prophet Muhammad was the one that you wanted to be like. So if he married Aisha when she was young, they use that as a justification for taking a child wife. They use the fact that he had multiple wives as a justification to have multiple wives. So I get it. But there's another thing, and I don't want to turn this into a different place, but because the Prophet Muhammad owned slaves, that is also used as a justification for some Muslims to take slaves as well. So there's a whole bunch of things that's going on here. The poverty aspect is definitely in there as well. So I think for this conversation to make sense, we have to localize it to the Gambia. Because like the brother said, it might be different with the Muslims in Ghana, but I don't agree with it with child brides and things of that nature. And I think so that we can get past that, we have to fix the core problem, which in some countries it's driven by poverty. And we can say that we don't deal with the white man's laws, but I think we can all agree right now that child marriage is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in agreement with that?
Yes.
It is very wrong. But
Okay.
lot of the Muslim people, especially the men, they don't want to say that. Not just because child marriage favors them, but it's also they feel like they're not loyal to the Quran when they confirm the truth. The
Right.
Quran have a lot of things that is telling us to do that we're not doing. So we don't have to do all, especially the ones that is harming people. We're not going to go to hell because we don't do it. It's not that we don't respect the Quran. It's just harmful. But they saying it like you're not even allowed to say it's harmful because whatever is in the Quran is not harmful. This is how painful it is to talk to these people.
No, I understand you, sis. And you know, we have to take the words of the people that it affects primarily with serious and also with care. Did that happen to you? Were you sold as, not sold, but were you given as a child bride?
Yeah, just like Aisha. Before I was 10, this old
Right.
60-year-old married me and
But
was
Ami, you
waiting for me
cannot.
to be a woman, which is my period. When my period come out, that means I'm matured enough.
Okay, so just to I think some people came in late after we talked about all that, but Ami herself is a victim of child marriage, and she has got married I believe 5 times because she didn't stay in any one of them, and up to the age of 16. Then she married a white guy to be able to come to the UK. So she's a victim. That's why she's here. So as we're talking to her, just know that you're talking to a victim of child marriage, and not just one marriage, but multiple child marriages. Okay. So yeah.
Can I just correct? Can
Rakshakur,
I
I'm
just
gonna
correct
let
my?
Rakshakur talk because I believe he wants to speak in a Muslim man's perspective. So let's hear you out, brother. Thank you for joining the panel.
Can I just correct my history of marriages there, please, Sammy?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead before Rakshakur says something
So
so he
I
can
was married
understand.
very young, the first child marriage, which is the man that is older than all of them, all of the child marriages. He's older. He's the older one, the first one that married me. But he didn't sleep with me. They said his thing wasn't working, he said. So they give me the second husband who married me
And
when
your
I was
age?
12.
Do
So
you
when
want
I
to tell
was
them your
14,
age?
I was at my, when I was 16, sorry, I was at my number 4 marriages when I was 16. So now I've been married 8 times. It's not 5. 8 times. Some of after the number 4, after the number 4 marriage when I was 16, I was there 2 years. When I was 18, I was divorced there and back to my mom's house again. I was arranged married again, but it wasn't like the first ones, but it was like a man that is my father's friend who want me. And I just have to go because I still don't know how to say no. After that one is when I start saying no, but then it wasn't long when I have that, my ex who was also older. I child married him myself by agreeing for him to marry me to come to Scotland. The Scottish guy who saw me at my work. But then I just wanted to get away from Gambia and to have a better life because of no education and all these marriages. I was going crazy. So after I came here, I also met my ex, who I don't like to talk about a lot. I respect my children. Who also is a bad experience with him. Like how you met somebody and you don't know him, you get married quickly because of some reason, and then you find out that you're not compatible or they're doing stuff you don't like. And then I was married again to someone who is in Gambia, but I find out that he just married me maybe to come here or what, because of other things I cannot explain all. And certain things I don't want to be explaining. People will think that when they marry, you will explain the history is after, so they will not marry again. It's not that. I explain my history for people to know that child marriage is very harmful. You're not just going to know that child marriage is wrong, but you're going to know why it's wrong. Is because look at this that it did to me. And this is not just harmful on my side, even my mom's side. But my one is worse because obviously I got married and I didn't stay there like my mom stayed in her child marriage until she had us and stuff before she was divorced. But it's just really harmful for so many different reasons. Every single woman with their story. Some are sitting there until now. With this man, they don't love, sleeping with them with no love, giving them a lot of children, the man beating them, neglecting them, marrying other women. They are hopeless. No one is speaking about them or speaking enough because it's embarrassing, it's seeming, especially in the Muslim culture. How dare you condemn something that is in the Quran? Who the hell are you? This is why it's so depressing for me over the years. It's not because of the damn pain. It's because of the community that is legalizing the pain, calling you name for going crazy when you have this pain and no one is want to hear it. No, they call you name.
Okay, Rakshakur, you can go ahead. Just to add on to her age, is between the age of 8 to 20, I believe. That's when she was going through all these marriages. 8 to 20, I believe. Okay, go ahead, Rakshakur.
Huh?
Yeah.
820 was what?
You said you were 8 years old, less than 9 years old. The
Yeah,
first
the
marriage,
first marriage,
all the
yes.
way.
But
Yeah.
now it's marriage is number 8. Now I'm finished with the marriage number 8 about nearly 2 years ago now. So that's all. I cannot explain all how it happened, but just for you to have a idea of what all these child marriages did to me.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, brother. Sorry about that.
Assalamu alaikum to the family.
Walaikum salam.
Peace and blessings and light to the energy in the building. I've been studying Islam for over 20 years, but I'm what you call a functional Muslim. I studied the Arabic all along. So studying the Quran is you go in and you understand what's going on behind the scenes. So with that being said, for me, the topic is great. It's beautiful. And to the sister that's highlighted, keep it up. This is what it's about. It's about talking about it, getting it out, sorting through what works for you, what didn't work for you, and go through the healing process. Talking about poverty, poverty is related to this topic because if you're stuck emotionally in trauma, you can't progress. You can't progress emotionally. You can't process mentally if you're stuck in trauma. So for me, I started working in residential group homes back in 2002, and my career in social services and law enforcement has been since then. So my point here is that a lot of children who are in foster care, residential group homes that are in correctional facilities have a lot of history of molestation, rape, sodomy, all these things. And so, regardless of what culture or region you're from, this is a mentality, this is a behavior, that must be addressed. And I think it's hard for young people to come out and speak out and get the right healing. That's one of the biggest trade-offs for culture is that there is no information. There is some, but it's not highlighted in our communities talking about rape, molestation, all these other issues dealing around sex and education. When we don't talk about stuff, our conditions remain the same. So just to give a quick shout out in that area, there's a lot of work to be done, and if we don't do the work, we can't grow.
Thank you. Thank you, Rakshakur. Spearman, do you want to add on to that?
Thank you for letting me in once again. You have muted my. Yeah. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I was like trying to be hurried to catch up with Prince Ayoko, I think, who was there before speaking about Fulani and other stuff like that. Trying to mix with culture and some of these religions that are happening, that are existing right in the world now. So if you look at it like what we are talking about, to me, to my understanding, I'm not trying to quote it with nobody's religions. It's just like what I understand, okay? Between the Islamic religions and you look at it with other religions, like when we talk about child marriage, there is there's a number of ages that they consider as a child marriage. You understand? But in Islam, there is nothing. To me, I did not do that research to figure out the number of the ages that a child supposed to have in order to go into marriage. You understand? But when we look at like in the Western side, we consider it as 18 years. You understand? But now the latest update that they are trying to put up is like even 17 to 16 years also. They are going down. Okay, what I wanted to understand is like when we talk about child marriage, at what age are we going to consider somebody to be having before going to child marriage? Because when we talk about child marriage, it's something general. It's not about religions or culture or something like whether it is Western or those. Let me just say, okay, from my point, that's what I wanted to understand in the first place. And the other place is like sometimes people are using this thing as like a kind of excuse You understand? We all know that what happened to other people, like for her situation, I understand that it's like she's a victim, and it was very, very painful that she go through a lot of difficulties. But what people are trying to talk about here, some people, they don't understand really what is the reason behind this kind of child marriage of a teen. Because nowadays we are having young girls growing maturely so fast, and when we look at it back at age, let me just say this African background, our culture in those days before the introduction of this Western world and all that stuff, parents give their children to other families in order to make sure that they will see their daughters being secure. Because when you look at it now, again, we all know that many of the girls are facing towards this kind of situation by not giving themselves the opportunity to get married, but wanted to stand as an individual who always fight their right. At the end, they end up losing. You understand? Because as a parent, they always see the future for the kids. If the kids are not seeing their own future, parents tend to attempt, like, let me just say, attempt to help them to make sure that they will protect them before they fail their way out. Because right now, what I'm experiencing here in Europe, I'm seeing a lot of beautiful young girls here, and at an early young ages, I experience a lot of difficulties in becoming a single moms. You understand? All these beautiful girls deserve to be a wife. They are wife materials. So the question is, my question is, then what was the assignment? What was the homework of the parents letting their kids now becoming a victim over here? It's difficult, it's painful. So sometimes when parents took their children, wanted to hand them over to somebody who is a responsible person, they just wanted to see them continue with that. Rather than seeing them having a victim, becoming a single mom, yes, they will still come back to the parents, and parents are going to take care of both kids and their grandchildren. So to me, when we talk about this, having too much of wives and something like that, it depends on the situation too, depends on the conditions. You know, in Islam, they don't say you just got to marry 4 to 5, wife or 6 or up to that. They say cut your clothes according to your size. If you have the money, if you have the men, you are married, but not to marry just to, let me say, to settle your sexual needs, but to help other people. You are helping, because women are always facing many victims. Like, these women are having difficulties to have responsibilities. But if you can handle them and you can take care of them, make them your wife, so that they will not be like seeing other people. You know, I think you are trying to do a kind of, you are trying to follow the right way, rather than trying to play with them outside there, giving them money and trying to use them and abuse them and leave them like that. That is what the Islamic religion is talking about. But if you have the money, if you are rich enough to take care of those women, and maximum is 4, and we are talking about the wealthy people, the rich people. So as for me, I'm single, but I'm looking for only one wife. That's what I can afford. And that's my. If anybody puts another person on top of me, I will say no. I cannot overload myself, because I can only afford one. So it's not about Fulani culture or whatever it is, guys. I just wanted to say this thing. It's not about the Fulani culture. Me, I'm a Fulani, okay? But what I'm trying to tell you is that the Fulanis, when other people are doing something like, they are following their own way. And religion, everybody have their own different religions. That's what I understand. So it is not by force to marry to 4 people, and it is not like the religion doesn't preach it like that. People understand it like that. They said cut your clothes according to your size. Why the ladies don't get married to blind person? They don't. No, if a blind person proposes to 4, 5, 6 girls, most of them will reject. Yeah, but if a rich man proposes, you will see 20 of them will be lining up. Everybody wanted to get some connection. So we are looking at it like that, and poverty contributes to that particular, effect. So my brother, I just respect you for that. But if you call out the Fulanis, we have some of them, just talking some people that have understand the situation. That's why we always say, cut your clothes according to your size. The load, when it's heavy for you, you cannot carry it, upload it. That's my point. So
that's what we are trying to do. The load is too heavy. This child marriage load that comes with part of, the culture. It need to be gone. And even if it's in the Quran, it's really scary to hear something from the Quran that is hurting us. Nobody wants to hear that. But this is the reality. Yeah. This particular
this is
part,
not in the Quran.
We have to ignore it. Doesn't matter if it was there before the Quran or not. And we
exactly.
all know that you are not selfish. Exactly. That's why you are saying that you don't have to have 2 wives. You don't have to marry a child or whatever.
And
You are not selfish.
I wanted to,
selfish in the religion, they don't do the things that many people will take advantage of and doing. This jumping, marrying different women or marrying young people, even though it's there, it's not like if you don't do it, you don't go to heaven. So they leave it because they're not selfish. But when you are selfish, you're just like, oh, it's there. Let me grab this, it's there. Let me grab this, it's there. But there's so many things that is good that is there. You're not grabbing them.
Yeah. And I wanted to add this thing to Prince Ayoko for him to understand this thing also about these Muslim religions. We do marriage up to 4 wives, but just for certain reasons. Because, like, for example, if you have a widow, I mean, she needs to be taken care of and their kids. We just do that just to help the family, not to let them be alone like that. It's going to cause a bigger problem because how are they going to survive if they don't have a man behind? One day they're going to search one. You understand? So this is the main reason. But we have our wife. We wanted to put another one just to protect them. Most of the situation used to happen like when you are in let me say have a brother and he passed away, he left his wife. You just get married to the wife just to protect her and the family. You understand? This thing happens. It's not about something that you are willingly doing. You are doing it in order to make sure that you protect the other family. That's why we African, really, we are poor, but we know how to protect our women. In Africa, we do protect our women. That's what I can say. So people who have like who fell into victories, like I'm really, really sorry for my sister, but yeah, I know it hurts because sometimes some people have they see different situations. So what I'm saying that like it is not about Fulani or a culture or whatever it is. It is something that we have met here, and since before I born, it was existing. So I cannot stop it. I think we have to try to stop it.
But separate it from the culture and Fulani or Fana or whatever. When it's something that we meet,
because it's not the culture.
Grandparents, and they still practice it, and then you just say that, and then you say it's not the culture. I'm confused.
No, what I'm saying is, I said this is something that we met here. So this thing has happened before.
But we are still doing it, but it's not the culture.
Yeah, to me, what I can say, it is not the culture. People are just doing it. They are mixing now. Nobody knows what is religion, what is the culture. They are mixing everything. They are mixing and blame, just like Mafia Supercar, like Domoda, Hungary. They are blaming everything just to bring.
People are doing. Why am I going crazy here with my community? What is culture then? Can you explain to me what is culture?
My sister wanted to understand what is culture. Okay, what is culture is something to me. The culture is something that belongs to a particular group. Particular, let me say, ethnic group, like let me say, or nationality or something like that. Their way of life, okay, their way of life. Because before this, let us go back to the Stone Age. There was a culture existing before religions came in. You understand? So the religion came to correct their way of life to make sure that they will practice it in a peaceful way, in a meaningful way. So, but yet still, there are still people who don't want to let go of those cultures. To me, in this new generation, yes, you know exactly what I'm saying, my sister. You know we are Gambians, okay? You know exactly that the parents, when you love somebody like you are Panapana and I'm in love with you, they will say no. You will not get married to this boy because you are not from the same tribe. You either marry to Fana or maybe you try to get some Olop. You're gonna marry a Fulan guy. But in Islam they don't say something like that. We don't say something like that.
But in Islam, it says that you have to marry people who are not Muslim. If you are a woman, but if you are a man, it's okay. I think if you look properly, it has that kind of thing too in Islam. Like, yeah.
In Islam, we don't have something like that. We have a Jewish
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Okay, can we let
if you're a man, you can marry a Christian, which is still they're denying you the person you love. But that doesn't matter. But why are you saying it's not the culture? That's what I don't get. The child marriage, you're saying it's not a culture, it's but people do it because of but it's not culture. Whatever people are doing, that's the culture. That's why they're doing it.
Can I tell you something?
Can we let him finish, please?
Let me just clear this thing for my sister Ami. Okay, in Islam, to me, what I understand, in Islam, they say that once the girl can able to, like, once she saw her first period, because that thing I was just trying to about the word. When you can see your period, doesn't matter whether you are 18, 17, 20 or something like that. You can be even 14 years, you are mature enough to carry a man. Okay.
Exactly.
So So when you are mature enough to carry a man at that particular point of time, you can get married because you can make a baby.
Man, can I say something to that? You know that some young girls, they see their period at the age of 9, 8. So that doesn't make it right, because that one is a child. For the 14, 15 years olds, I can understand where you're coming from. But because we see some young girls who are 15 and going out to have boyfriends and sleeping with men, right? But for a 9-year-old, I don't see anybody who is 8, 9 who are sleeping with men and knowing what they're doing is wrong, or knowing that they're just sleeping with men. I mean, 8, 9-year-olds don't know what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? So I just want you guys to understand that women don't just see their periods at 14, 15, but 8, 9 do see their periods. Some people see their periods very early.
Yeah.
15 is a bit too late for most women.
Yeah.
15 is a bit too late. Sometimes when it goes all the way to 15, it's just those women that see their period very late. But between the age of 9 to 12 is most likely the time a lot of girls will see their period. So what do you say about an 8 or a 9-year-old seeing their period?
What do I have to say about 8 or 9-year-olds? Okay, seeing that period. But also, to me, what I understand is that 8 or 9-year-old, it is not easy. Those people, they are still young. Okay, you know that they are not mature enough. Even if they are seeing it, one cannot just rush in to get married to them. But why? The reason why I'm saying 14 years, you can see that the futures of a woman are already now highlighted. You understand? You can see them from a long way. Like if you are standing from a Johnson, you can see the futures already. You understand? So that one doesn't have to attach with the ages, because some girls, some little girls can be like tall and be mature enough that when the moment you see them, you might assume they are 20 to 21 while they are 16, 17 years of age. Okay. So for the 9-year-old, I don't have much experience and I don't do much research. But what I heard through my research, I know that when you are up to 14 years to 15, 16, if you having these futures and you are seeing your periods, you can carry a man, and from that particular point of time, if you can able to date, then if your parents are decide they wanted to get you married and you love, you can go for marriage. It's not about 18 years or 20 or something like that. That to me, it is not about child marriage, because once a girl can able to have a boyfriend and lie down with a boyfriend, then why is the big deal for her not to get married in order to save the family? We are seeing what is happening now. We are saying that okay, on the age, they are on the age now, they are making babies. On the age cannot be a wife. They are making babies. They are having kids now. Okay, so these are the things that we need to consider now. The world is changing now. We're supposed to adjust and find. I mean, we consider what is happening in the future, not to wait for the age while they are doing their thing on the ground.
Is it underage that I'm sleeping with men? That's their mistakes, and they have to face that themselves. That's their mistake, but it shouldn't make it right for us as a community or the parents to have to marry them off to men when they're underage. But even though they're underage, they can do mistakes.
Yeah, based on their choice. Based on their choice, yes. Based on their choice, yes. If they decided to go in for marriage and they love the person, yes. Why not? Yes, it is okay. To me, it's okay, because I have witnessed certain situations like that, and it works.
I mean, if your 10-year-old says they're in love with a man and wants to get married, will you give them away?
If the futures was in source, I'm not gonna give, because I know she just wanted to have a pleasure.
If the futures show and they're 8 or 10-year-old, will you give them away?
I don't think so. Future shows at the age of 8 or 10, no, or something like that. My sister.
It does.
No, we're talking about the present,
yes
what we see.
No. Answer yes or no.
Come on, I'm not gonna do that. 10 or something like that. The futures are not bright at that moment. They are just showing off, like they are not bright. We are talking about a proper future. So,
okay, so because you're not gonna do it, you know it's wrong. So you shouldn't say, "Oh, if the future show, why shouldn't they get married if they want to?" Even if they want to, even if your child wants to,
By
you're
the
gonna
way,
be
can
like,
I please
"You're
say
not
something
going to
about those
talk about
futures?
that." You shouldn't be thinking about that at that age. So you know you shouldn't leave your 8 or 10-year-old to marriage. So you shouldn't say, if the future show for another person to get married, they should give it away. That's just my talk. That's just my opinion about it.
Of course, yeah, you are right. You're right. You're right about that age, about, let me say, 8 or 9. That's one I never heard about it. But what I said, I go straight to my point. I said from 14 towards upwards. These futures have already sold and everything is bright. Then from there, if they are decided they love the person and wanted to get married, why not?
Negative. Yo, I want y'all to pay attention to this, all right? Any man that will look at a 14-year-old as a potential wife is sick. Facts. Brother. We have to look and stop talking. And no, hold on. You
are taking it from the Western. You are taking it from the Western culture. We are talking about every culture. We are generalizing the culture. You are taking it from the Western culture, which is not correct for you. You are wrong in that point. I'm telling this.
Let me tell you this. I love to see. Hold on. Because I was muted the whole time. Yes, take your hoodie off, so I know who to keep away from my daughter. You're 14 years old. You're scheming on 14-year-old. Talk about you never knew that 9 or 8 years old was open game in Islam, and you know about the Prophet Muhammad. Do you study Hadith? And if you study Hadith, just go to Sahih. Stop acting like you don't know what you're talking about. Once you say that as a grown man, a 14-year-old girl is good, then something is wrong with you. Stop it. And this is why the brother was talking about the Fulani, because what you're doing is you're making it okay. You're making it okay. So now go on.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Hello.
Take your hoodie off. My sister. Take your hoodie off first. Let us see your face.
That's not. Listen to me. Listen to me. That's none of your business to take off my money. Let me just say, you cannot westernize what is happening in the world.
Daughter,
you are not the leader. You don't listen to me.
What?
Come on, man. Have some respect, my brother. I'm not
here to
hoodie off. Far with you.
No.
Come on.
I'll never respect a man that justifies sleeping with kids. Never.
Me, brother. Come on, unmute me. Let me just reply to this brother, because these people, they don't have the knowledge. They just focus on the Western side. No, we are generalizing the situation here. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. For this conversation to go on smoothly, and you guys just remember that we have a victim sitting here, and she's the guest in this conversation. So
and I feel sorry for her.
Fight over things that are not necessary. Let's just be respectful to each other and listen to each other before we talk. Go ahead, Spearman.
Okay, I feel sorry for Ami. What did I say first? I said I feel sorry for Ami. People are talking from different perspectives, okay? He is talking from the Western culture or Western, whatever he might call it. Me, I'm talking about where I come from. So he cannot be saying that from 14 years old, this and that and that. What does he know about knowledge? Does he carry every knowledge in this world? No. We are generalizing it, okay? We are putting everything together here, all right? You cannot just focus on one part. You expect that thing to be everything, you understand? Even okay, I do not need to put some names in it, but what I'm saying here is, even the biggest people have come across and they're trying to approve us that it works. So who is he to say that if you're 14 years, something like that? What do you know about knowledge? Are you God? Do you credit people? What do you know? If people are willing to get in for marriage, what do you know about maturity? You understand? Knowledge is knowledge. Whatever knowledge you have with yourself, keep it for yourself. But the Westernized, you cannot generalize it for everybody. People have their own way of life. That's what I'm trying to say here. So this man is not normal. What he's saying, he don't know nothing about knowledge. Okay? So we are talking about,
let me respond.
We are generalizing everything.
Okay, I don't know anything. Bro, I was raised as a Muslim. I told people from the longest. My first elementary school was a Muslim. I took my Shahada. So I know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. And I'm a father. So my daughter, and I'm in her room, right? 10 years old. 10 years old. And you, in your mind, would justify sleeping with my daughter, or at least when she's 4 years from where she is right now. And that's wrong, bro. What you're doing is you're applying what happened and what was acceptable back in the days of the Prophet in today's society, and it doesn't work. And it doesn't work. What that is called is grooming. That's grooming. And I'm telling you now, if people look at this dude because you're justifying sleeping with children, even an 18-year-old, me as a 47-year-old man, while it would be legal for me to lay down or take one as my wife, I would never do so. You know why? Because I see that as a child. I don't justify laying down with children.
Okay. Ami wanted to say something. Ami, go ahead. Aji, thank you for joining. Abdul, thank you. Prince Ayoko is back. Ami, I'm gonna let Ami say something to what Spearman said, and then I'm gonna let Aji talk, then Abdul, then Prince Ayoko. So be patient. Go ahead, Ami.
I'm gonna say is, guys, I don't want you to argue in this video, brother. Please. I know why you angry. This American brother don't get you what you said. Maybe because you're from abroad. How are you from Africa? I get what you said, but I collapse because the 14-year-old to sleep with them is wrong, and I also think you know that. But you were just saying how the traditional do it in the past. But you're not saying that it's fine to do it now. Like I'm gonna do it now. I don't think that's what you're saying. But I don't want any of you to argue in this platform, because earlier on someone triggered me until I was crying. It's enough emotion in this platform. And when I come today, I came because I want to talk about child marriage, talk about my project with Cause from Africa. If anyone wants to go and look up the website, we don't just help for child marriage. We also help for putting children to school. Right now, I only have one victim of child marriage that I'm supporting that is in my house in Gambia. But the other children that I have that we have to put to school next week on Monday, they are 9, and then another 5 waiting. So we do more putting children to school than even finding child marriage victim. It's not easy to find child marriage victim. By the way, when I say child marriage, it's when before the person reach to even 15. When they are like 12, 11, they're not even 13. Because 13, that's when they start teenage age, from 13. So child marriage is when like what happened to me and other girls who are not so lucky, so they get married so young, they're not even 13. That's child marriage, just so you know. Because I think you were asking that earlier on. So the whole purpose of the video was for us to talk about this. And if you guys would like to go on the website and donate for not just about child marriage, because child marriage victims are not easy to find. You know our community. These things are arranged. People don't have voice. This happened to me over 30 years ago when they first gave me this husband. Before I was 10, that was. The second husband, I was 12, who did the thing with me, that particular one. The first one didn't do the thing with me. But I never have the gut to talk about it until 4 years ago. And I still live with the pain the whole time. I couldn't tell my mom. When I told her that I want to talk about it in the social media for other people to stop, she didn't like it. She didn't tell me no, but she was feeling guilty and just feeling like this happened to her and her entire family and just the whole culture there in the village, and just no one is like coming up and talk about it like this. So she was thinking how people gonna see it and stuff like this. And I said to her, me too. All these years I want to talk about it, but I didn't have the gut. All these years I'm in Scotland, I want to talk about it. I saw people talking about FGM, talking about child marriage, but FGM more. And I know whatever pain FGM is, I've never not been through it, but I know my pain for child marriage is beyond whatever pain you are thinking. So I wanted to talk about it like they're doing. When I see them, I'm like, oh, I wish I was like this to save other people. But I didn't have the guts. So I said, I want to do it because life is too short. I don't know when I'm going to die. Even if I save one girl from going through this pain. So she agreed, because my mom, I'm close to my mom. So she couldn't tell me no. But she confirmed it in the other video that I have with her, because my community is like, they didn't believe this was real because they think it's too much and that I was too young. So they were thinking I was just saying it for view or what. Who will say this kind of embarrassing thing for view? So then my mom confirmed it in the video. I have the video with my mom on my YouTube channel. She confirmed how this child marriage is real and that it's wrong. I have another interview that I'm trying to do with her again to confirm the age and the amount of time I get married, which is the thing that she really hate most to talk about, which is how young I was for the first time and just the total number that I got married 8 times. She think that I shouldn't say it because no one will marry me. She think that I shouldn't say it, people will laugh at me. She have time to think of that. She have time to think of that because she's been through the child marriage, but she only had two marriages. After that one, she divorced again, she married again.
That was it as her adult life until that man passed away years ago. Then she's with the man she's now with. Me, I've been married 8 times. And my number 4 marriage, I was only 16 years old. So I don't have time to think of people who is going to judge me or argue with me about this. I have too many girls to think of. So this whole topic was for me to tell you guys my new journey to work with Calls from Africa, and to also tell you guys, if you want to support or just if you want to help someone from not getting married young and not going to school, doesn't matter you go to Calls from Africa or not. Just anywhere you can do it, any country, just save the girls' life to go, make sure they go to school and they're not married young. Also, for us to confirm that, for me, that come into my mind just before I click the camera, that if I have a guest here who have knowledge with Muslim religion, that's gonna help. Because our part of practicing child marriage is mainly based in the religion. The fact that Aisha was married so young, Aisha was given to Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam so young. So I wanted for us to talk about how this is in our culture and in our religion, or in the religion, that's why the culture is doing it. I don't know which one is which. To confess the truth that this is in the religion and the culture, but it's not, we don't respect the religion and the culture. No, it's just this is too harmful and painful. That's why I'm talking about it here. I have a lot of things to talk about. I shouldn't even be in this video if this never happened to me. The whole reason that I started this video 4 years ago was to raise the pain of child marriage and then do comedy and talk about other things. The comedy, I just added to it, so it kind of like make me smile and make others laugh instead of always serious and crying. Because you guys know that whenever I'm serious, the next thing is I'm gonna cry, especially when it's child marriage. It's that painful. So this purpose was for us to confess the truth that this is in the Quran for me to do. But we don't have to practice it. It's not favoring us now. A lot of Muslims that are genuine and honest, they tell you it's in the Quran, but we don't have to do it. It's too harmful. And it's not like if you don't do it, you're going to go to hell. Allah could have said that if you don't marry a young virgin before she's 12, you will go to hell. Allah could have said that. But it's not like that. So why are you doing it? When the Quran tells you so many things that you can do. I know it's hard to call our people in the village and talk to them like this. It's hard for even when you go to visit Africa, you sit down under the mango tree with your family and talk to them like this. They're going to think you're too westernized, you're rude, you're this. How dare you condemn in the Quran? You're not condemning the Quran. You're just telling them how harmful this is. So the whole purpose of this video is for us to focus on knowing how damaging this is. Also to talk about how we have to support the children to go to school, either through Calls from Africa or wherever you can do it from. So I don't want you guys to please get so emotional until you keep arguing. Don't forget why we're doing this video. That's just what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you, Ami. Aji, welcome. And go ahead. Oh, you're muted. Unmute yourself, Aji, please. Hello? Aji, we can't hear you. Aji, if you can hear me, you are unmuted, but we cannot hear you.
No, it's not me. They're talking about Aji.
Okay. Abdul, go ahead while we wait for Aji's mic, or I don't know.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, can you guys hear me? This is my first time. I've been watching your show, and you bring in a lot of good topic, and this is a big topic. If you wanted to discuss this, it will take us days. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I just wanted to talk about this topic. Okay, and what I want to talk here is that we're missing a point here, and that's what I wanted to bring back to everybody's attention, and so that we will have a sense of the way we take this debate or this conversation. And the point that I see that we all miss here is, let me go back to the right that Muslim gives to women, especially when my sister is saying that Quran says this. There is nowhere in the Quran where he says that we should marry women at that age. So this is rectified. And also, the Islam gave women so much right that there is nothing else, or there is nobody or no religion that gives women that right. If we look, women was bullied before. You know, if you look before Islam comes and corrects.
Can I please say something?
Go ahead.
Why do you say that the Quran didn't say that people should marry young people when Aisha was given to Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam at a very young age, like my age?
Okay, I could answer that for you. One of the blessings that we have as a Muslim is the fact that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam married Aisha. And yes, it's the fact that this is one of the blessings that we have. Okay, Aisha, when she married to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there is a dispute here, according to the scholars. Some are saying at the age of 8, some saying at the age of 9, some are even saying at the age of 12. But there is every scholars come with their own view. But the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam married Aisha. He didn't marry Aisha for any sexual reason, because if you look, the Prophet have Aisha and he never touched Aisha until Aisha gets to a point where he knows that, yes, I could touch this lady. All right. So one of the blessings we have, if you look at Aisha radiallahu anha, you know, among all the hadith, for us to know how did the Prophet sleep, how he eat, what you do, you know, all the secret about women, between women and men, is Aisha that comes out and teaches that. And Aisha is the second in hadith to memorize. You know, Abu Hurairah is the first.
Can I say something, please, brother?
Yes, yes.
I've been very patient with this interview, no matter how painful it is. I'm trying to finish this interview.
Okay.
It's not about how good Aisha was. It's not about what part of the Quran Aisha played.
Okay.
It's just the fact that Aisha was married as young, and the Quran also confirmed that when the woman see her period, she's mature enough, and the woman can see her period from age 8. Sometimes there was a child on the news that was 6 or 5 years old, something like this. I read it somewhere. But the regular one is between 9 and 12 for a lot of women. And we all know that even if Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was giving Aisha, and he some part of the Quran, like you're saying, some Quran we say that he didn't do nothing with her. Still, it's not every man that is going to be that loyal like him, for example, and marry a 12-year-old or 9, 10-year-old then, and not sleep with them if they have the chance then. So it's not about, oh, he didn't sleep with her. I always see this in my videos. He didn't sleep with her on time. Why you guys marrying people, and why you sleeping with them? Why can't you wait? They will never listen to me. It's their wife. But why can't they just stop marrying them when they're young? We all know that everything that Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was doing, we're not even doing quarter of it. The way he was so loving to his neighbors, the way he was so kind, the way he was praying all night, the way he couldn't even eat until his tummy is full. He would just eat 2 or 3 times, and he said that it's enough. A good Muslims don't eat until their tummy is too full, like AmieJobe do all the time. So many things he's doing that we're not doing, but we are practicing that particular one, and also the marrying multiple wife one, and also the fact that you have to worship your husband. The women practice that more. All of this doesn't favor the women, but it favor the men. And the men, they should also worship their husband, by the way, but they hardly do that. They don't even talk about that much. Hardly ever you come across a Muslim man that worshiping the wife. We all know this. Brother, please, I don't mean to talk to you like this. I don't mean to feel like I'm rude or I'm angry. Just this is beyond any pain you can think of. It's pure rape. pure child abuse. But the worst part of it is that they legalize it. Your head, it's like you're going crazy. You're like, this is wrong. Why everyone thinking this is fine? Why everyone not seeing this is wrong? Only you, the victim, know that this is wrong. Your parents, the person marry you, the neighbors, everyone is smiling like nothing happened. Where's your husband? How are you? And you're dying inside. This is why I'm going crazy. But it's so hard to talk about it in a Muslim community because it's in the Quran. We all know that whatever is in the Quran, how dare you to condemn it? Quran is not something that you should pick what you like and do it and leave it and do the rest. But we picking what we like and do it when it's come to the other things though. You see what I mean? When it's come to the other thing, we're not doing all. So why this particular harmful one must be practiced? And I know it's practicing with other religion. Don't try to challenge me. This is not a parliament. We're not debating. This is between life and death, between the person going mad, running on the street, or the person so stressed like I'm doing, people bullying you all these years for being stressed. And you've been bullied so much that you become a bully. This is about children being a prostitute, drug addict, just going crazy, beating their children to death, depressed to F. They cannot even be a good wife to no one, unless they're lucky they have a good man, because they're too broken. This is beyond me. I could die tomorrow. I'm not talking for me. I'm just talking. So it doesn't matter how this thing favors you as a Muslim man. I don't care if the Christian people doing it or no Muslim people. Don't look for excuse to do it. Doesn't matter if the whole world is doing it. You just don't do it. So you can save one girl. It's not about, oh, these Chinese people are doing it, Indian doing it, they're doing it. Who cares? You just don't do it so you can save one girl life. No one deserves this. Not just because you're not a woman, you don't understand this pain. And the worst part is that some women who even know that even though this doesn't happen to them, this is so painful as a woman, they try to picture if this was their daughter or them. They'll still challenge you and condemn you. This is so painful. This is why our culture, everyone is going crazy. Because when something happened to you, you're not allowed to talk. Some people call me all the time on Facebook. Why are you talking about this? This is your secret. People are going to bully you with it. These people will never care. Give up talking about this and get married and move on. Brother, this is in the Quran. And I'm sorry. I don't hate Allah. I don't disrespect Allah. But this is there. And we are practicing it. Doesn't matter if we are doing it before the Quran. We are not talking about what's happening before the Quran. We're talking about what's happening now. Now the Quran is happening and the child marriage is happening. This too is happening now. And we have to take away the child marriage part of it. Even if we're going to keep the two-wife part, the child marriage part is more harmful. So,
okay.
Sammy,
right.
are you hearing me?
All right.
I'm gonna need.
Okay. Can I continue?
Yeah, hold on. Let me say something. Thank you. I'm gonna need you to listen to the few people that need to talk, Amie, and then after they talk, we can wrap up because I know you're tired. You've been talking. It's like over 3.5 hours, so we'll get 30 minutes to let everybody say what they want to say, and then Amie also listen to the people that are speaking, and then give your final thoughts because I need you to go and rest because you've been talking for a while. Abdul, just continue, and I'll give you like a minute or two.
Sammy, before you go to Abdul, are you hearing me?
Yeah, but Abdul was speaking.
Oh, I just want to know if you're hearing me. That's okay. I just want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay. Go
All
ahead.
right. Yeah, my sister, like I was saying, all right. She's bringing Quran. That's why I'm trying to clarify that, and then she's bringing Aisha. That's why I'm trying to clarify that. But if you look in old age, women's was bullying, and women, there was a rape, it was all these type of things. Islam come and take all that out. And one thing I want you guys to know, I'm not here to say is wrong, is right. No, I'm just here to just brief you about something, especially our culture. Especially our culture. Now, our culture, every religion in this world, is, let me say, they have a culture to back that religion. The Jewish, they have a culture to back their religion, and Muslim, the same thing, Christianity, the same thing. Our culture always follow our religion. And one thing, when we Africans, we stay with religion, and religion is part of us, all right? And then in our religious teachings, what our ancestors or all our people knows now You know, they try to protect the fact that religious is telling you you should not commit adultery, you should not have a baby without marriage, you know, and they're trying to like, I mean, like we should be married, man or woman. All right. So now, since religion is saying that, our people are going and said, okay, what do we do to protect this thing from happening in our society? Like our kids at the early age to be raped by somebody, or our kids at the early age, you know, to be vaginated by somebody or to be pregnant by somebody. So our old age, our people, what they do to protect that, they look at a woman when they know you matured enough, you know, they says, you know what, married to this guy. And then they will choose a guy for you that they know is capable of taking care of you, like the chief was saying. This is our culture. And the culture is not there because they wanted to do harm to the kid, but they're over there to protect their kid, you know, their daughter, from not being bullied from somebody, or not be raped, or not having a baby at a young age without marriage. This is our culture. What I wanted to bring out here for us to understand, we have a culture that diasporas are coming to Africa and they don't know about this culture. So I think it's a time to teach this diaspora, or tell them, let them know that we have a culture. And now, like the sister is saying, how can you address this? You know, there's a way to address it, but this have something to link with religion. That our people are doing this to protect certain things that religion says, this is not acceptable. Even when you talk about married 2 women, 3 women, why are we doing that? Because they're trying to avoid prostitution. They're trying to avoid women being take their right from them. You see now, as we look at the census right now, you know, it's more women than a man. And if we're not married in them, what's gonna happen? They're gonna be in the street. They're gonna be in the street. It's gonna be a lot of zina. You know, so because of that, the Islam allows us to marry 1 or 2, 3, up to 4 if you're capable. And capable is not only financial. It should be in social and everything. So I'm so sorry, but I just want, when we talking, sometime we need to let the brothers from the diaspora, because their culture and our culture is different. So they need to understand our culture, and plus their culture, that we see how we're gonna put things together and work together as a team. This is my contribution towards whatever is going on, you know. And then I say thank you very much for listening to me, and then I'm with you guys all. Thank you.
Thank you, Abdul. I just wanted to rectify something. It's not about how many women is in the world. It's about child marriage. You know, even though we have, yes, we always hear they say women are more than men. So definitely that's why they say men can marry up to 4 wives in the Muslim religion. But this one here has to do with child marriage, and if it's right for them to be married. I know Ami wants to talk, but I'm gonna let Empire say something, because I don't want us to go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? No, not Empire. Aji. I just gonna say something. Say thank you, Ami. You have gone through a lot. I always watch you when you talk about this child marriage, but I feel like this has been the hardest life you have done in a long time, and you've said it yourself. You talked about it, but you have never been in such a panel. And I want to appreciate you and thank you. And I'm behind you and your organization, and I will do my utmost support, give my utmost support to making sure that you guys are able to stop this, maybe not completely eradicate it, but I know whatever you guys are doing is going to go a long way in a positive way. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna let Ami close out and say her final words or everything that she has to say, because it's been a long day or night. Go ahead.
Thank you, Sammy. And when I was invited for this live, I know it might be long because I saw some of your live, you know, and some of you guys that do live and it's long. So I was expecting a long live, but I wasn't expecting this amount of emotion and this amount of reactions, especially from my own Gambians. Like I said,
Any Gambian that's saying this is not my culture, go and ask your grandparents what is their culture. And I think what is your grandparents' culture? That is your culture. But you can move out of it now because it doesn't favor you, like I said. But what I want to say is, again, this is beyond me. Help girls all over the world, especially in poor countries, to stop getting married young and to go to school. You don't have to do it with girls from Africa. Do it with anywhere you can. Do it yourself. Research, especially if you're from Gambia. Call your people, even if you come from a rich family, okay family. Tell them to drive. Gambia is not far, it's not back. Drive to poor areas or even like Birkama and just even like Sanchaba, all these small little areas. You'll find a lot of girls that have no school or drop out of primary sex. And the next thing is they're going to give them a husband. Go and help them. This is beyond, it's not my culture, it's your culture. You're too broken. You are just talking a lot. You can't stop. This is beyond all that. Don't you guys think that this insult that you guys are doing for me all these years since I start talking is too lame now? Because the same time you guys insulting me, you will tell me that I am traumatized. And from day one I start talking, I told you guys what I've been through. And I never have any interview without crying. I've not had interview for so long. All these years, I've not had interview. I only had interview 4 years ago when I started talking. I had 3 interviews together. One of them, I can't remember if I cry, it's not much. 2 of them, by the way. One of them, I cried more, the first one. But this one is worse. My son is sitting here crying the whole time next to me. My son never saw me like this, especially on a video. And hearing me talking to people, different people. No one wants to have a mother who is crying like this in the internet because of what she's been through. When you're bullying me, after you tell me I'm traumatized, you're stopping other people from coming out to tell what they're going through. They read in the comments. They might have other pain they want to talk about. Rape, child marriage, other things. Why you not see many Amy? It's not because this happened to me only. It's because all the other Amy's don't have the gut to come out. Like I said to you guys, I never have the gut to come out all these years until 4 years ago. And I've been living in this country for 14 years on my own with my internet. And I saw people doing it. I know how to do it. I never have the gut because I know this was going to backfire. All my friends here didn't even know I've been through this. When they hear it in the video, they were like, what? This is beyond me. I'm reminding you guys again. No matter how much you hate me, no matter how much you don't agree with me, because I condemn this and I condemn that, or I'm always talking in the video, whatever. Go and help other children. This is not about you come from a perfect family who doesn't do child marriage. So you're going to come and tell the whole world that my family is so perfect. This is not our culture. I condemn this. This is not about that. We all know that you cannot be from the Gambia and Senegal and Guinea and Mali and all these communities, yeah? And even Nigeria and Ghana, especially the Muslim side. Any Muslim community in poor countries, Pakistani, Indian, anywhere, you cannot come from there and your parents and your grandparents are not child married. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows, our culture knows that. So it makes you guys sound so dumb for sitting there trying to argue about this is not my culture, it's your culture, you take it, it's for you alone. No one wants to take this. I don't wish it's my, that I experience it. I don't wish even my enemy to experience it. That's why I'm talking, crying like mad all these years you guys bullying me with it. It's because I don't wish other child to go through it. I've been bullied with this from a childhood. I've been bullied so much that I've become a bully. I told you guys this millions of times. This is beyond me. Like I said, I could die tomorrow or tonight. But the next person that is going through this, It's all about that. This video is not about people challenging me, defending with me. If I know this in my dream, I was never gonna come. I don't care if I was gonna raise 1 million fund tonight. I was never gonna come. No matter how much you disagree with someone or you hate someone, because they think they are right every day for everything. This is beyond the person. Certain things I wouldn't do. Me that some of you call traumatized and crazy, certain things I will never do. None of you was ever gonna come out on a platform talking your child married like this, and I come to try to defend it with you. This is not my culture. Don't call it my culture. Call it your culture. Me, my culture is so perfect. We don't do this. Since when is your culture perfect? From your mother to you, or from your grandmother to your mother to you? What about your grandmother's mother? They were perfect. They weren't doing child marriage. So it's not your culture now, because today it's not happening to you now. But it's still happening to other people today. And it happens to your parents back. This is for any of you. All the Gambians that is saying it's not my culture. It's not just these two. There's millions of Gambians that arguing whenever I say this. 4 years, I'm tired. That's why today I'm doing this. I have enough. Anytime I have interview in the Gambian community, this is what I get, and I will never have interview in the Gambian community. Because as much as I want to save the other children that don't have voice, they don't even have internet. But I know you can watch me from America or Spain or anywhere. After you see me crying, you call me traumatized. You can still help reach out to those children. Maybe you know their mother or their uncle or somebody. And just tell them. I was watching a video with the woman talking about child marriage crying. Please, if you know anybody in the village or anyone who want to give them children young, don't do it. Even call me, I will help. If they cannot put them to school, that's why they're doing it. I'll pay the school fees. If they cannot feed them, that's why they're doing it. I'll pay. Just raise awareness that this is very harmful. Please tell everyone. That's what you should be focusing. You should focus on contacting your people in Gambia to find out how to help. But no, you're focusing on, this is not my culture, that is your culture. I said, period. I don't care. Find the barrage. You're just telling the whole world how you have no emotion and sympathy to humanity. Not to me, but to humanity in general. This is beyond me. I don't want no money from this. This organization is new. We have 9 children that we have to pay school for our first group of students. We don't even have enough money to start their school fees. We have to send them to school this Monday. They're opening school. We don't even have money for that. This organization don't even have money for that yet. I've seen life. As you can see, even my YouTube channels. Even when I try to sell clothes on my videos, you know that I don't care about money. I don't know how to make money, and I don't want to know it. I just want other children to not go through what I'm going through. That's why I'm condemning everything, because I've seen pain. I don't want nothing to go wrong. That's why I'm in trouble all the time. I know it. So I know why you hate me. This is beyond you hate me. This is for you to think of other children, like I said. This is in the culture. This is in the religion. Doesn't matter if it's your part. Stop practicing it now. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter even if you come from China. It's not in your religion. This is just what we should focus is in that. Okay, how many children are getting married now, right now? Oh my God, let's find out how to help. Even if it doesn't have to be with me. Do your own research, help them. Doesn't matter if it's Gambia, Senegal, Guinea. I don't care where you're helping children. I don't care if I'm dead or alive. Just help the other children. But if you come here to against me and say she's always right, she's always checking, she's always right. Of course, if you go through half of what I go through, you'll always be right. You'll fight to be always right. I pray my enemies would never go through this. Thank you so much for having me, Sammy. I appreciate this interview. And I'm sorry that I get to, angry as they call me or whatever. But I couldn't allow people to back the religion part of this because it's in the religion. That's why I couldn't allow that. And I couldn't allow this other woman that came first to be busy condemning the fact that this is not the Gambian culture. I shouldn't call it Gambian culture like Aji was doing. This is why I was condemning those people who came to either bully me or to defend the religion part of it. This is why I was condemning them. I was not condemning, but like talking over them, whatever you call it. But it's not like I'm just jumping off a barrage. I know I'm always jumping off a barrage. But I know how to listen to video and listen to audio and listen to interview, whatever you call it. This is not my first interview for this. This is number 4 time in my community I've been doing interview. But the next one, I don't know when, if I'm still going to be alive. I don't know when that's going to happen again. Because I'm tired of any time I have interview with my community, people use it, insult me. But I know even when I talk in my own platform, they will insult me. So I still have to continue having the interview and continue taking my feeling out of it as much as it's painful. Think of the other victims that were like how I was young and no one was talking like this then. Hopefully it was going to save me. I have to keep thinking about them and keep talking. So I might still do interview with the Gambian community. But just know that whenever you're bullying me in an interview or with my child marriage, you're making other people to never talk about what they've been through. And then this circle will continue. This is beyond me. Thank you for having me, guys. And yeah, I have to go now. Take care. Bye.
Thank you very much, Amie. I'll call you later. Thank you.